everybody who come to me talking about they want to do some work for the community, I got to study their political character. Not their personal. Yeah. I'll never know that. Yeah. Political. And if I see you more in this for attention, if I see you more in this about anything that's serving the people, I know you're not genuine. Because in this is sacrifice. You can't beat white supremacy alone. Prince was fighting solo. Mike was fighting solo. Whitney Houston fighting solo. You gotta have a team. Yeah. It takes armies to defeat armies. Yeah. We have the most bruised ego in America. Yes. And because of that, we're constantly seeking validation. Yes. Why do we have to wear the most expensive clothes that they make? Validation. So until the black man conquers his need for external validation, our egos will always be used against us.
And if you ain't talking no dough, then I ain't interested. Look, they say the sky's the limit, I'm going farther than that. She keep blowing on my phone, so I called her mama, come get your daughter back. They just want a little bit of fame, get them boys whack. What, baby? Lil' one eye, bust your brain, better get a hard hat. They say the sky's the limit, I'm going farther. They can try to, but can't kill me. I'm immortal. I just bought a nigga life, ass and did a side, come with that order. You lazy, the reason you broke, you don't know how to hustle. Don't try me, they know I'm a stress son. Look, red rum, red dot. Hit the block when 12 come. Look, know I'm thuggin' to the fullest, asking for a bullet, cause he never felt one. Stick him to the wall, this a nail gun. Riding with my dog, tryna nail something. Yeah. I said on you when he got your partner too.
Yo, welcome to It's Up There Podcast. I am your active and attractive host for another episode of the fastest growing podcast in the market right now. I do want to salute to each and every person that has clicked this video. We have one of my favorite people in the world back on this Up There podcast. We are in Hyperion season 2, and we have my friend, my partner, Dr. Umar Johnson. How are you, my brother?
Peace and Pan-Africanism. Glad to be back in Nashville on It's Up There podcast. Good to see you, my brother.
Man, I got a lot of love for you, and I always position that first, right? Because no matter, our conversations is to learn. It's yes, for people to actually grab something from it, and a lot of the people enjoy it. I do see some of your fan base, which you have a rather large fan base. Mm-hmm. Some of them don't understand our dynamic. They don't understand that sometimes I give you room to clarify position.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And I try to push a little more for the people.
Which is necessary.
Exactly. And so I just want to set that standard before we even move forward, that it's a lot of respect in this room between us. And what we do here is for our people to actually get something from conversations rather than just sit down and have this powwow and no one actually deposits anything or withdraws anything. So I want to set that standard first. How have you been, my brother?
I've been well, my brother. I've been well since the last time we connected. What has been going on? Well, with regard to Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey, brother, we down to the doors and the floors. That's it. Once we get that done, we'll be applying for our certificate of occupancy. By the doors, what I mean by that is when we took over the building, we got everything rekeyed, but I didn't get the classrooms rekeyed. Okay. So I'm working with a black locksmith. He got to rekey every class. Give me 3 copies, master key, custodian key. I'm waiting on him now. Okay. So once he gives me an estimate of what this is going to cost, the doors. The other thing is the floors. So there's 16 rooms in the school. There's more than 16, but we have 16 that we got to either tile or carpet. Okay. Because we had 12 of them that had rugs in them. We had to take them out because, they was old and funky while the building sat, right? So it's concrete. You got to cover that up. So we got about 12 that got to be covered. The other 4, I want them to match the other rooms. So it's going to be 16. We did get 2 estimates from 2 commercial companies. Pretty expensive. You know what I mean? They want about 60 G's to do them 16 floors. And I'm like, ouch. So I'm trying to see if I can work with some of my brothers. And as you know, we haven't had the best of luck with our brothers. But miraculously, coincidentally, one of the brothers out of Chester, PA, contractor, he reached out. He does business in Delaware. He said, let me come see the floors. I might be able to beat the price. So when I get back to Philly, hopefully, if he can beat that price, we on. Because to be honest with you, Loon, we've been done for about a year. When we painted the school last year, the only thing that needed to be done was the floors.
Okay.
But the paint wasn't perfect. So in me trying to get the paint job done perfect, we wasted a whole year. You follow what I'm saying? So now I'm like, forget it.
Right.
Let's get everything done. And if I need to go back and touch up on the paint, we do it later. But I can't keep letting years go by because, as you know, when you do this kind of work, time fly.
Yeah.
You notice that. Interview, next thing you know, 6 months.
What?
Yeah. I would say the one downside of speaking and traveling and interviewing, your life speeds up 20-fold.
It's all a blur.
Yeah, the life, I'm like, the year's over.
Yes.
So, I learned that you got to keep your foot on the gas because if you don't, another 5 years will go by, we still not open. You feel me?
Right.
So we've been done except floors, doors, and paint for a year.
Wow.
So technically, this should have got done last year, but I'm not going to complain. All things in divine timing.
Facts. Do you feel as though you still have the same desire? Is the fire still burning for FDMG?
The fire still burn. Sometimes the fire go dim, right? You get discouraged,
Right.
But something always happens to bring you back. I'm very heavy into my spirituality, so I do a lot of solitude. In fact, when people ask me about romantic relationships, a big reason why I'm not in one is, and our sisters are good people, right? But when you are on a political mission that has a spiritual foundation, sometimes women can't adjust their lifestyle to yours.
Right.
And so when you come off the road and you need a couple days to just get back in sync with yourself, they want you to be wrapped up into them.
Yes.
I can't do that right now. I got to get myself right again.
Yes.
And so what I'm learning on the romantic side, that when you date a sister, when you have a spiritual calling on my life, because although my work is political, it's spiritually based. You got to make sure you have a woman who can accommodate your mission. Because a lot of women want to take you from your mission and put all of your attention on her.
They
don't get me wrong,
mission.
you have needs and you have a right to those needs. But at the same time, you got to temper some of that because of who you with.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm not the rapper. I'm not the actor. I'm not the comedian. I'm not the dancer. I'm not the entertainer. I'm an activist. You're forgetting that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so sometimes women can drain you even more.
Exactly. And it becomes more of a detriment to the cause than an addition to the mission.
And that's why the Honorable Marcus Garvey said, as much as I loved my wife, being married was a detriment to my work.
Exactly.
Because you got to constantly appease the queen.
Yes.
And understanding she got needs. But this is about the race.
Yes.
This is about the people.
Yes.
And if I got to constantly keep debating with you, pleading with you, explaining to you, then you clearly don't respect my mission.
Right.
And as I listen to a lot of, spiritual work and read a lot of spiritual work, they talk about how you got to make sure you equally yoked, because that partner, that relationship, even though she don't mean no harm,
Exactly.
but that relationship will drain you of your purpose.
Right.
And that's why a lot of great men, they went at it alone.
Like me. And see, right now, me and you, speaking of, is like, it gets harder. And I'm gonna tell you something. I greatly undervalued the ability to find a partner on this level. Before I got to this level, I would have assured you that, what easy peasy, beautiful cover girl with this shit. Like, man, we getting money, we successful, we reading, we up early, we taking care of the children, it's business being took care of. But as you get further and further, you say, oh, this is deeper than just a bed mate. It's a soulmate. It's deeper than that. Deeper than that. And so, man, I definitely understand that. Let me ask you this. How long have you been on the road chasing this thing?
Woo! I'm going to say I've always been into activism since elementary school. Black Student Union president, graduated Garvey movement, UNIA Philly. But the activism been there throughout life. But if you say on the national and international level, that would be since 2010. That would be with the Chicago interview, September 18th, 2010, and the Harlem lecture, October 30th, 2010. And about 48 hours after the Harlem lecture, bro, my phone started ringing and it ain't stopped in 15 years.
I remember that.
Yeah.
What, for people who don't know, again, this grind and what you've been doing, what receipts does that leave on a man's body, right? Woo. Just moving that long, doing this mission, on this goal. And you got to constantly take in information to be updated because you are a voice to our people.
Yes.
What receipts does that leave on a man's body?
I would say the biggest cost is in the spiritual weight you got to carry. The biggest cost is in the lack of time you have to invest in the relationships you have. Not romantic, but just family.
Yes.
Social, community.
Yes.
You're not there the way you want to be there.
Right.
And again, I look at some of our great ancestors, of course, Brother Malcolm, we just celebrated his 100th on Monday. How many days ago? 4 days ago, Malcolm turned 100, May 19th, 1925. Okay, and then next month, God willing, I'll be going to the Democratic Republic of the Congo for the first time to celebrate the 100th birthday of Patrice Lumumba, who was the first democratically elected prime minister of Congo. And as you know, President Dwight D. Eisenhower of the U.S. government ordered his assassination, and they cut his body up into little teeny pieces like a cake, bro, and dissolved him in acid. The only thing that remained was a tooth that his family just got back after more than 50 years.
What?
Yes, sir.
When was this?
This was, he was assassinated January 17th, 1961.
Whoa.
And they took out Malcolm in fact, Malcolm often spoke of Lumumba, and I believe Malcolm's black glasses, the what we want to call them, the patented Malcolm X glasses, those were actually Patrice Lumumba glasses. Not that pair.
Right.
But Malcolm wore the same glasses. Yes. And I think he got it from him. I've never heard him say that.
Right.
But he wore the same glasses as Lumumba.
That's like a nod.
And he kind of was the Patrice Lumumba of Black America.
Right. Also, brother, please don't record this whole thing because, of course, it got to go to iHeart. Exclusivity is to iHeart. So we're going to get into some of the iHeart stuff, too, because they reached to Candace, and for some reason, we'll get to that in a second. But so on your journey, you basically have to bury your relationships to keep the fire burning for the mission.
I wouldn't say bury, but I would say you are not able to, I guess the best language to use is invest in them the way that you want. So they're still there.
Right.
And when you have your free time, that's when you double down on that time. Right. But the bottom line is, when you do this kind of a work, when you're serving the people, your universe, your satellites, they have to also appreciate your mission. Otherwise, you become a hindrance to them. In other words, if you don't appreciate the mission, then it's best that we really don't seek to keep this relationship going as strong as it is, because you're going to see me as nothing more than a hindrance. Same thing romantically, because you don't appreciate what I'm doing. Yes. See, if a woman appreciates what you're doing, she can wait.
But outside of you, right? So she can appreciate what I do when it pertains to her. You have to now appreciate what I do when it pertains to the mission.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I know he's serving my people.
Yes.
So however long it takes, I'll be here.
Ooh.
I'll give you someone who I thought embodied this perfectly. And all the wives were great. The Anna Douglas, the Amy Garveys, the Betty Shabazz, the Coretta Scotts. But you know who I felt really embodied the activist leader wife? Ooh. Winnie Mandela. When Nelson met Winnie, rest in paradise to both of them, when he tried to explain to her, she like, already got this. I know what this is about.
I'm with you.
I was ready for this. You understand?
Yes.
Because she was about it too.
Yes.
And when he got locked up, she kept the movement going.
Right.
Most activists, you get locked up,
mission dies with you.
Oh, she ain't, you feel me?
Yes.
She was only there because you was popular.
Right.
Which has been a big problem I've run into.
I want to ask you that. How do you shift through the women?
You can tell. You can tell if the women are there for the mission.
How?
Energy. You could just tell the way they speak, the way they talk about your work. The best way to find out is to listen to the jokes. The things they say inadvertently. Oh, you off running to serve the people again. You know, anything sarcastic, that lets me know you don't value what I do.
Yeah.
And that's not good, because if you and I ever got together, if we produce the child out of it, if I go to jail, if my life is taken prematurely, God forbid, you will not raise my baby in this. And when you look at most children of most of our leaders, not all of them, because you got some of Malcolm's daughters pushing, you got some of King's children, right?
Right.
But overall, if you look at the children of the revolutionaries, most of them did not stay with their father's work. Do you feel me?
Wow.
Yes.
Great.
And some of that is due to the fact that the mothers became
Voice boxes.
disenchanted over the fact
yes.
that they saw how their husbands gave their life to the people and the people did nothing for their family after they died.
Ooh.
Think about that. Think about that.
That hurt though.
Think about that.
That's
Malcolm
hurtful.
died, right? Betty struggled. You see? Now, King's children may have had it a little better because you had the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. I'm sure they looked out Andrew Young and others, right?
Yeah.
So Coretta probably had a little bit more, but it was still hard on them because they saw firsthand, my husband gave his life.
Goodness.
And y'all ain't even reciprocate at all to his children.
Do you worry about that?
Worry, I'm going to say no.
Is it a
And I'm going
given?
to tell you why. Because it's a given. You done already seen it. You done already seen it. You see what I'm saying?
right.
So you done already seen it. And that's why I tell people, and as I observe activists, I'm always telling them, Brother Loon, I'm like, listen, everybody who come to me talking about they want to do some work for the community, I got to study their political character. Not they personal.
Yeah.
I'll never know that.
Yeah.
Political. And if I see you more in this for attention, if I see you more in this about the hustle, if I see you more in this about anything that's serving the people, I know you're not genuine.
Right.
Because in this is sacrifice.
Exactly.
You do not benefit
Of the
from
highest
this.
extent.
Of the highest extent. The only love, but it is the greatest love.
Yes.
Is the love of the people.
Right.
There's nothing like going through the airport and 30 Africans run up to you and the white people looking like, who the fuck is he?
Right.
They looking like, is he
Yeah.
who is this
Nah,
guy?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
he's
I
one of
love,
them.
right, and I love, because, you know, they think they got to know everything. They come over.
Who are you?
I feel like I should know you.
Right.
Listen
do
to that,
that.
though.
They-
I feel,
yeah.
why do you feel you need to know me?
Right.
And then I say, I'm just a psychologist. Then they still like, okay, but first of all, they shocked because they thought you was going to say rapper or athlete.
Exactly.
But even when you say psychologist, they're like, well, psychologist. they
Doesn't
not-
make sense. That reaction, psychologist.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just kind of leave it like that because
Right.
you never know who you dealing with.
Right.
Like the stewardess will ask you, I don't like to give them too much unless they black.
Right.
Because you might put some shit in my
Yeah.
drink. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Yeah. And,
So you
and
gotta,
I'm glad you militant in that way.
yeah, you got to keep your head on the swivel.
What I've always appreciated about you, whether you were getting millions of views or not, you've always understood the seriousness of your banter, of your rhetoric, of what your position is, of your mission. And I think that's very important to see a black man militant. I was telling him earlier before you got here, I said Umar is probably one of the only ones, and there's a lot of strong black men in the space. But you will not fold.
No.
And bro,
No.
trust me, us other black men, we say, if they let Umar on CNN, if they let him on MA, he's not folding.
Oh, no, sir.
So don't send the invite.
And that's why they ain't going to send me. You'll never see me on there. Now, I just got an invitation to be on Piers Morgan.
We about to talk about
Right?
him in just a second.
You know, and I didn't accept it because I noticed with some of them, even though he's really popular and he got millions, don't bring me on there for no nonsense.
Yes.
And what I noticed, and I went through this a little bit with Fox Soul. No disrespect to Fox Soul because they just reached back out to me. I'm going to give them another chance. But you don't take somebody with these kind of credentials and this type of following and this seriousness behind his work and put him on a panel with goofballs.
At all.
And you see?
At all.
And that's what Piers Morgan, I got an invite for a white podcast. I'm not going to mention his name. He's very popular. He wanted me to debate Jesse Lee Peterson, right? Now, me and Jesse Lee Peterson, are you familiar with him?
Yeah, I know Jesse.
We've debated before. I was on his show before.
Where you-
we
I
was
never
on
seen
Fox Soul before.
okay.
He and I have shared airways maybe 3 times, right?
Okay.
I turned down the interview, right? Because I said, I am not going to go on this show. And this was live in studio. And I think he's in Florida too. I am not going to go on this show and debate another black man, even though he is a coon, for the entertainment of white people.
Right.
See, when he first reached out, Loon, I'm thinking we're going to have a conversation like us. We're going
Yeah.
to go around the world and
Right.
talk. No, I want you to debate Jesse Lee Peterson. You already know what he stands for.
Right.
You already know what I stand for. So this cannot be serious.
Yeah.
You want us to fight each other for the entertainment of Caucasians. I'm not doing that.
And I appreciate you for
I'm
saying
not doing
that.
that.
Matter of fact, let's get to Piers. So Piers Morgan has been in the news or in black culture going viral right now, in particular for he was on a panel. Let me get the names right. I think it was. I want to make sure I have the young ladies' names. Damn it, I don't have the names. Nonetheless, it was Piers Morgan, Marc Lamont Hill, Myron Gaines from Fresh.
Somebody
and
sent
Fit.
me a clip.
Right, and so what we had is Piers Morgan was in a scenario where he asked for this young lady. He invited her to say a racial slur.
Mm-hmm.
The racial slur was in front of Marc Lamont Hill and another guy who's a black man. The other guy who's a black man had a gun, and he would press the trigger, and it'll put out a flag and say nigger on it.
During the interview?
During the interview.
I didn't see that part. Okay.
Yeah, because it would blur out on certain platforms. They wouldn't let it be
I only
seen.
saw a clip, but I'm
right.
with you.
And so I wanted to ask you, what is your reaction to that clip of that situation?
That is the exact type of situation that I don't want to be a part of. I don't mind the racism, but let it be someone of an established intellectual background.
Right.
But for you to just grab idiots and buffoons off social media because they have an opinion and ask me to converse with them, I feel like you're belittling my work.
Yes.
And you're belittling my name.
And that's what it was. The young lady was just a social media girl who says, I like to say nigger. And
no
I'll say it in front of-"
expertise in anything.
Yeah.
No community activism.
Man.
No type of corporation that she's established.
Yes.
No type of political resume. Just a nobody. My thing is, at least let it be someone who people listen to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And listen to for serious opinion,
Right.
not just shock value.
And that's what they'll do. They'll try to mix our greats with they bullshit and trash.
Yes, I'm not doing that. And when he reached out to me, Brother Loon, if memory serves me correctly, it was a week or two before that interview. So I believe he wanted me as a part of that, because in the email that I got from his assistant, it specifically said that they wanted to discuss the fundraising behind our brother down in Texas, right? The young brother who defended his life, okay, and is now facing charges, and hopefully he will be victorious. We're going to pray that he's going to be
right?
victorious. Carmelo
Yes.
Anthony. They wanted to discuss the fundraising between Carmelo Anthony and the Shiloh Hendrix, I
Yes,
believe is her
yes,
name.
yes,
and
yes.
I'm looking at this request, and I'm saying, of all the things we can discuss, we want to talk about GoFundMe? I already knew it was nonsense.
Right.
This is all you want to discuss with
Right.
Dr. Umar.
Yeah.
This fundraiser
Yeah.
and this fundraiser.
Right.
I said, this is nonsense. I believe he wanted me on that platform.
Did you see Marc Lamont Hill's response to it where he
I thought he did a good job.
okay,
I
now,
thought he did a good job.
He's receiving some backlash because he this is what I say, this difference between
What did
Umar.
he say? And then
And then
because I didn't see the whole thing.
This is what he said. So he says, Piers Morgan invites the young lady to say the N-word. Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it.
Did she say it?
No, Marc Lamont jumps in.
Okay.
I do not want you to tell her to say the N-word in front of me because I'm the only one up here that's going to be offended. Da-da-da-da. He was on the right track. Then he uttered, Piers, I know you don't mean any harm. And then that's when a lot of people were taken back. Because why would you give him any out in that moment? He clearly is inviting this discourse. Why is he, as the white man who's facilitating the conversation, and also, even if he was there quiet, I would say he holds some responsibility.
Because he engineered the
Exactly.
conversation.
But the fact that he was the one to say, go ahead, say it, and then
Okay,
for
he
you to
told
let
her
him
to
off
say
the
it.
hook. Yeah. For you to
Okay.
let him off the hook. Now,
Okay.
Marc Lamont Hill responds to this and says, I only done that because I didn't want them to cut out the part where I where I told him do not allow her to say that. So it's like a strategic bag down. I don't respect those. Right?
Okay.
Like in that setting. Now, if we're talking war and other settings, great, but he received some backlash for basically letting Piers Morgan off the hook in that moment. To that, what do you say?
Okay. I don't want to speak on that directly because I didn't see it. I'm going to give Dr. Marc Lamont Hill the benefit of the doubt, okay?
Do you want to see it? Because we can show you the clip.
I don't mind. I can take a look at it.
Let's take a look at it.
You know, it could have just been human error, I'm hoping. You know, if that's the only thing that took place, it could have just been human error. I'm hoping it wasn't as egregious as what I saw the other day when President Donald Trump had a meet and greet interview with the president of South Africa. I don't know if you caught that,
I didn't.
but I was very disappointed in the way that President Ramaphosa of South Africa conducted himself with President Trump. I really feel that he allowed President Trump to drive the conversation.
I did see him meet. I didn't get the chance to watch it.
You got to watch it.
Okay.
I felt like he completely disrespected the South African people, who I love. I'm very close with the South African family. And I felt the president of South Africa did not assert the dignity of his people by defending why so many South Africans are considering appropriating land from these Caucasians, because y'all invaded our country centuries ago, stole that land, enslaved us on our own territory, and now you have the audacity, President Trump, to call me a criminal to take back what was stolen from me by white criminals. And I really felt the president of South Africa let Donald Trump push an untrue narrative in his face. In his face.
I know
and
you
not
weren't doing
say
it.
nothing back. I really felt he dishonored all of the great South African leaders that have come before him. You understand? No way Shaka Zulu was going to do that. You follow me? No way Chris Hani. No way Steve Biko. No way Robert Sobukwe was going to sit in the White House understanding what the U.S. government has done to Africa and sit there and let President Trump accuse you of being complicit in genocide when this country has financed genocide against different African populations throughout time. I really felt he did the South African people a disservice by letting Donald Trump treat him like he was a child.
Why? What? That's what I'm talking about. So, and I got respect for Marc Lamont Hill. I think he's a scholar. But what is that? Like, what is that? Like, what?
It's the coon chip. And what I mean by that, when you're raised in white public school, when you're raised in a black church that's filled with white Jesus images, we are conditioned from childhood, Brother Loon, to serve and service Caucasians. And you have to become conscious of your subservience in their presence so you can work to undo it. Because what, in effect, is happening in that moment with President Ramaphosa, if this happened with Dr. Marc Lamont Hill, their unconscious takes over. You see this? You don't even recognize that you are conceding your masculinity to this Caucasian male. You're not even conscious of it. It is your unconscious conditioning that is kicking in without your knowledge, forcing you to get down on bended knee before these Caucasians.
And you won't do that.
No, sir. In fact, I'm going to go harder with the Caucasian to make sure my coon chip, if it's still there, doesn't get activated. You feel me? So if they say, Dr. Umar, we might have one or two whites in the room. Cool. But I need you to know something. I don't change my message. So make sure you understand that I'm not changing. Same thing with the universities. Well, you know, there's going to be white students in the audience. This is a predominantly white institution. That's fine. Yes. But I don't change my message. Make sure they understand that.
And that's what it to us is so important, because
yes,
you see these scholars that the smarter they get, they it's like they lose the veracity that black men have.
And I'm gonna tell you a big reason why. There's a few fears associated with the black male ego. One fear is money, unfortunately. We'll put cash above the honor that we should have in defending our people, right?
Right.
If I offend, because you're not disrespecting.
Right.
If I offend this Caucasian, it might mess with my pocketbook. I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
In
That's
fact,
what
I
I'm
tell people all the time, one of the best things ever happened to me was growing up in the North Central Philadelphia ghetto, because once you taste poverty, you're not afraid of it.
Exactly.
You feel me?
Exactly.
I'll go back if I need to.
Figure it out again.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's number one, the loss of money. Another one is the loss of access to white space.
Oh, man.
Both in the media and in the social world. I'll give you an example. And I know we're going to talk about this later, but I want to give you an example. Take Shannon Sharp real quick. Shannon will not be affected financially, I don't think, as a result of this lawsuit. Because in the social media world, there really is no code of ethics.
Right.
It's all about views, right?
You're right.
Financially, I think he still gets his contract. You know where he may lose? You know where Sean Puffy Combs may lose if he wins the case? They will never again get invited to certain privileged white functions.
Yes.
And as a member of the black bourgeoisie, having access to white
Infinity
space
Stone
is sometimes worth more than the money.
Yes.
Do you feel me?
Yes.
Getting invited to this.
Yes.
Getting invited to that. Going on these exclusive retreats with these billionaires. You may never get that invitation again. And so sometimes the black scholar, not saying Dr. Hill did this, but I've seen it done, so I know what you mean.
Right.
I'm going to compromise my people's truth. I'm going to compromise my people's truth in this moment, because if I get branded as a black man, think about that. If I get branded as a black man by the white man, I might lose opportunities to be around white people.
Yes, and that's kind of your only one up in a lot of black spaces. Is
Yes.
that, no, I'll be at the white party.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Because we value everything they do more than what we do.
Exactly.
This is why we'll go to the BET Awards and we'll fight.
Yes.
We never fought at the Grammys.
Whoa.
We never
they'll
fought
sit
at
us
the
in the
AMAs.
nosebleed.
Do you feel me?
Yeah.
Will Smith slapped Chris Rock and they banned him for a year.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And I still don't know if he's allowed to go back now. You're not going to do that in white space.
Right.
But you'll do it around us.
Yes. Now let's take. So it must have been in the other one. You may just missed it. So what's happening is it's not a standalone statement, and that's why people felt like it was a slip in just to appease the man.
Okay,
It
yeah.
wasn't-
I
it
understand
wasn't
what you're saying.
Yeah, so it was when he would say, "Don't you just say the N-word." I know you don't mean no. It was that.
Right.
It wasn't just standalone.
In other words, you should have checked him for even inviting her to say it, but he did say, don't have her say that.
Right.
But what you're saying is he also said, I know you don't mean no harm.
Yes.
So I'm not holding you accountable
Yes.
for the fact that you actually invited her to say it.
And that line actually blew up, and he responded to it, and he said again, it was a strategic move on his part. But I don't compromise my integrity.
You can't.
For a strategic move for the white folks.
I hope he didn't. I hope he didn't.
And so he responded to it. So but we'll move on from that.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. Because I know that Joe Budden podcast is somewhere where you go, you do a lot of views at. I'm of the belief, and a lot of my fans are of the belief, that we were very instrumental in them actually pulling the trigger on Umar. Of course, they knew Umar for a long time. After our Deion Sanders debate, I think there was they said, oh no, we need Umar. And of course, when you went up there, one of the first conversations was, hey, we saw you debate about about Deion.
Okay.
And, so I take pride in being influential in that way in the market, just opening what people think is available to do with Umar, right? It ain't just, because for me, I feel as though our dynamic kind of changes the way that people deal with you, right?
Okay.
In regards to Umar is an intellectual. He invites this. He invites, make me clarify. Make me stand on it. Because I'm going to tell you why it makes sense.
Yes, sir.
And I believe in those moments, you shine so bright that even in your 25th hour, it still brings in more new people. When you get in those,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So
absolutely.
Are you prepared to go and do the 20v1 on Joe Budden's podcast at this point?
I didn't know he was interested in the 20v1.
That's what if you go to Joe Budden's podcast, they have Marc Lamont Hill there to combat you on your way there.
Right, but I thought 20v1 was when you pop the balloon.
I mean 20v1, just 20
okay,
versus
okay.
Yeah, you know
I thought you was talking about the women. I'm like, wait a minute.
So Drake rephrased that when the Kendrick thing was happening, when everyone seemed like they were going at Drake, he was like,
and he called it 20v1. I got you.
So now I just kind of played on that to say, yo, Umar, the next time you go to Joe Budden, it's definitely gonna be a lion's den.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I'm always ready. You know, sometimes because of things people might say or do that I don't agree with, that I take as slights, I might not necessarily agree to have those people present sometimes, right? So I have to look at who the team is. And I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know what? He kind of did something I ain't appreciate.
Right.
Then I might exclude a particular individual. I've done that in the past.
Right.
Because my thing is, when I come to the platform, I'm going to raise it in whoever you have there.
Yes.
And I don't want to help expand the brand of anyone who would ever seek to try to undercut or undermine me in any way, shape, or form.
Do you feel like you're above the undermining even though you see it, right? It's almost like I scold despite the foul. Do you
I'm cool with the political undermining. In other words, me and Loon about to have a conversation about something, and I know he fundamentally disagrees with me on this point. I'm good because we keeping it political.
Exactly.
But if somebody said, well, you know, Loon had to say this about you when you wasn't, then I'm like, you just cut me in the back.
Yes.
Can't do it now. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
it's one thing if it's a political disagreement. It's something else when you're actually trying to make me look bad off camera or trying to put some of my business out in the street that shouldn't be there. Yeah. Then it becomes an issue.
Do you think that, like, let's just say you do go 6 people, 1 Umar, you probably are gonna be the one standing on, you know, you have your beliefs and you don't fold. This is why we love you. You know what I'm saying? So I think they can kind of anticipate certain things that you're gonna stand on and kind of develop a strategy or a
I can see that.
Right.
That's kind of common though across platforms. But I'll say this though. At the Joe Budden podcast, even though they stood on their squares, I also felt they was very respectful of my positions though.
Yes.
Like even though we went at it, even me and Ish on the Snow Bunny thing, we went at it.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it felt like all love in there. When I left, I didn't feel that there was any animosity with anyone. When I left out, I said, you know what, that was all right. You know what I mean? We went at it, but it was still love in it.
Do you know the value you brought to Joe? Listen. The value you brought to, because see, Joe.
I mean, he was already doing well, though.
Yeah, but this is a different game. See, this is what I'm saying. This is no longer about points, right? It's like they put points up. He's running the game I'm running, which is a subscription model game.
Okay.
If you notice, your interview never came out for a long time on YouTube. Word is, in the industry, behind the scenes, that it was upwards of 10s, 20 of thousands of new subscriptions. Okay. Which is it's a substantial amount of money, right?
Understood.
And so that value you bring, that dynamic you bring is always so valuable. And I just want you to know that, which I know you know. But again, the debate style thing they done with you came from what we had just done with Dion, right?
Okay.
It was more so because,
I didn't realize that.
People don't want to disrespect you, right? They think that but I know you want us. So we can have these conversations like you say and disagree on something, move to the next subject, agree on that subject, agree on the next one, disagree on that one. And I know you invite the discourse. But yeah, man, you brought a lot of value to that platform, and I just wanted to know, you know, moving forward, how you felt about going on there.
I didn't mind. I'm looking forward to the return.
Okay, great.
They all right with me.
Yeah,
they good. I really enjoyed it. It was a good conversation.
Great. Now, Piers Morgan, is that off the table?
It depends on what he wants to talk about and who he want to talk about it with. In other words, if that would have been me on that panel, I would have kind of felt like it was a waste of my time. You follow me? Because that other brother who was up there from Fresh and Fit,
yes,
they invited me to their platform. I don't know if they still together anymore.
Yeah, they still together.
Okay,
yes.
But they invited me about a year or two, and I didn't go. And the reason I didn't go is right before I received their invitation, somebody sent me a clip of a black woman, young sister, who was on a panel, and they got into a disagreement or an argument. I don't know, was it a fist fight?
Yeah, they put their hands on that girl.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
physically removed her.
So when I saw that, I
Yeah.
couldn't. It's one thing to say, I don't want to date black women.
Yeah.
Completely disrespectful for a black man to say, but I might still tolerate you.
Right.
But if you go to the point where you are absolutely berating and disrespecting a sister on your platform, even going so far as to allegedly put hands on her, I can't give you my energy.
Right.
Because I know when I interview with you, everybody who follows Dr. Umar wants to see it.
Right.
This week alone, I've gotten at least a dozen texts from supporters who saying, Dr. Umar, I done watched everything on YouTube. When your next interview?
Yeah.
You know, probably my biggest constituency base amongst my supporters might be the long haul truck drivers,
Yes,
bro.
yes.
You feel me?
Yeah. They need
I
you.
hear from the long haul, they say, Doc, you take me from Florida to California, right? So they'll text me and be like, yo, where the next interview at?
Yes.
I done watched these 20 times. I need some new Dr. Umar. So to your point, I do know that my supporters are waiting for the next interview. You know what I mean? So my thing is, I got to be conscious of that. I'll give it to you. Like, I probably turned down at least a dozen podcasts.
Yeah.
Because I felt that you have made it crystal clear that you don't respect black people if they're Caucasians, right? Andrew Schultz. He wanted me. Somebody sent me a clip where him and Shannon Sharp. I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to misspeak about the man, but I think it was a conversation he had with him and Shannon Sharp or somebody where he kind of said something disrespectful about black women. I forget what it was, but I do remember in the moment, I said that was a bit too far. I can't go on that platform.
Right.
If you didn't,
and you and Schultz have always had this funny relationship.
because I don't know him, right? But because my time on the Breakfast Club, because him and Charlamagne have a podcast together, right?
Yeah, they're
and
friends.
so Charlamagne was the first one to say, he wants you on there.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, but he got to pay, right? So then finally, when they came to me and say, okay, we'll pay, I'm like, all right, I might do this. And then I see the clip with him and Shannon, or maybe with somebody on his show.
Right.
I forget where it was, but he
yeah.
said something disrespectful about black women.
Yeah.
And I said,
Ain't
because what he said, in my opinion, cut too low. If you cut too low, I'm not bringing you my listening audience.
Yes.
I'm not saying you need it.
Yeah.
You're already doing fine.
Yeah.
But you're not going to have the benefit of mine too, and you disrespecting my community.
And you know, both things together is what makes the explosion, right?
Correct.
You need heat and cold to make
you
a
need
tornado.
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
Yeah. So when
Right.
when those mashups are way more powerful than just, oh, we're doing another episode this week. No,
Right.
Umar and Andrew Schultz would be a moment. It's like that's
for
a
sure.
moment. And he
well, you
knows
know,
that's
at
a
first,
moment.
right? He said they didn't pay their guests. I said, you really think Dr. Umar Ifatunde, the number one black scholar in the world, number one Pan-Africanist, it ain't even close, or number two Pan-Africanist, because I'm going to give number one to President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, right? So the number two Pan-Africanist, number one in the West, and you think I'm going to come and give you a conversation that we know going to go viral,
Oh my God.
that you know you're going to get paid on,
A bunch of money.
and you think I'm coming for free? I said,
Guess
who
why? But guess why the expectation is that? It's because the other black scholars in those positions that you are in will charge us
and go to the
and
white
go
man
to
for
the
free.
white man for
Not
free.
me. In fact, you got to pay more. You understand?
That's why we
In
love
fact,
Umar.
most of the podcasts I've turned down have been white, and they've offered nice amounts, but I can't do it because I've seen you say and do things that to me was too deep of an aspect of disrespect that would allow me to sit down and have that conversation.
So do you think Schultz is racist? I know Schultz.
I believe all white people are racist, so that's not the question. The question is, do I think Schultz is a bigot, right?
Yes.
Racism is what? Complete control and domination for your group of resources, opportunities, and privileges. ROP. That's it. It has nothing to do with how I feel about Loon. It has nothing to do with how I feel about Dr. Umar. You understand?
Right.
I want white people to have the advantage always when it comes to resources, opportunities, and privileges. It's not personal. It's business.
Yes.
The business of political, economic control and domination.
Yes.
That's all racism is.
Okay.
Bigotry is when you bring in that emotional component. Bigotry is when you made it personal. Bigotry is when you say, I not only want white people to dominate the resources, opportunities, and privileges. The reason I want them to dominate is because I think black people are monkeys. I want them to dominate because I think they are inferior. I want them to dominate because I think God invented them to be our slaves. You see that? That's bigotry. Racism ain't personal. Bigotry is.
Wow.
Is Schultz a bigot? I don't know. I don't want to misspeak on him.
Yeah, because I don't know him well, but I've been in his presence a couple times. You know, me and Charlamagne has business together with iHeart, so I've been on Brilliant Idiots, and I've been in his vicinity. I don't think he's racist, but I don't know what's going on with him. Or
bigot.
Your definition of racism,
right.
I understand, so I can't.
Right.
You're
You're saying you don't think he's bigoted.
I don't think he's bigoted. Yes.
Okay.
So, but that's for you to examine, and that's for you to distinguish as it pertains to your feelings that approach to how you gather your information. You know what I'm saying?
And let me say this to you. A big reason why I haven't been on these popular white podcasts is because I understand racism and how it operates. No matter what you learn from me, you're not going to change your ways. Right. Because there's no Caucasian on earth that's going to abdicate their white privilege so black people can get a fair opportunity. So for me, it's almost a waste of time to have a conversation about race and racism with white people because you're never going to change.
Yes.
You do not change racism, you destroy it. You see that? So when I sit back and I get these invitations from these white podcasters, I know what y'all want to talk about. Y'all want the Dr. Umar shock moment, and y'all willing to pay me for it.
Yes.
That's all right. But at the end of the day, I value my time. And for me to sit down and have conversations about race and racism with people who are never going to stop being racist is a waste of my damn time.
That's a fact.
I have nothing to prove to Caucasians.
And that's, I'm telling you, man, and a lot of people talk. I feel that coming.
Yes,
from
sir.
them.
Yes, sir.
And that's the difference I would say between you and a Marc Lamont Hill, right? Is because in those moments, I just don't, in my heart, I don't see you excusing that behavior on any level. And
I'm not.
Even Joe Budden.
And I can't say if he did, but I'm not.
Even he works with Joe Budden at this point. Even his boss, Joe Budden, came the next day and kind of got him online. Are we good? Is what? Okay, switch it to 1080 because it probably was that. So switch it to 1080. This is still going, so we'll keep moving. So Joe Budden actually came and kind of had a conversation with him on the next episode, and he told him, he's like, why are you even on Piers Morgan? You're on Joe Budden's podcast now. This is Joe talking to him. Like saying that, hey, our platform is huge. We got a lot of people listening. You're smoking right now. You're viral here, viral there. Why go there? And he was like, why should it? Because in Marc Lamont Hill,
I didn't have a problem with him going, though, because I do recognize the need to sometimes clarify who we are,
and that's what I was
in white space.
Yes, that's what
I'm not against him doing it.
So it's okay to do it, but just stand on the business.
Stand on the business. And for me, I'm going to pick and choose what white spaces I'm going to go in.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's why with Piers Morgan, when I saw what he wanted to talk about, I said, this is not serious.
Right. Yeah.
And my thing is, if I'm going to go into a white space, I needed to be serious. Right. You feel me? Because I know you ain't going to change who you are.
Right.
White people have never changed, never will. You understand? So I know that, but at least let it be serious. But for me to come on your program just for you to try to make a mockery of my way of life and what I'm living and dying for, it can get real personal real quick.
Yes.
And I don't want to subject myself to it because at the end of the day, anybody will look me in the face and say, you knew what you were walking into.
Yes.
Why did you walk into it?
Exactly. Are you familiar with the Ryan Clark and RG3 back and forth that's happening?
I am. Ryan Clark and RG3.
What you
Ryan
thought
Clark and RG3. Here's where I am. So as we know, Caitlin Clark's team was playing Angel Reese's team.
Right, and there was a hard foul.
Caitlin Clark made a hard foul. I saw the foul.
Okay.
I definitely thought it was unnecessary because I saw how she kind of pushed her a little bit. I saw it. It was on purpose.
Okay.
I think Caitlin Clark still harbors some animosity towards Angel Reese because Angel Reese still won the national championship.
So even with people saying Caitlin is the better player, you believe she still hates Angel Reese?
Of course, because Angel Reese prevented Caitlin Clark from getting an NCAA Women's National Championship. That matters.
Yes, it matters.
You feel me? That matters.
Yes, it matters.
And Angel Reese is the reason Caitlin Clark is not an NCAA champion. Angel Reese is an NCAA champion.
Right.
So no matter how many white people worship Caitlin Clark, every time she steps on the court with Angel Reese, you're the reason I don't have a college ring. Because listen, we don't know if she's guaranteed to ever get a WNBA championship. You feel me?
And that's that gap, or what people perceive to be a gap in talent, gets larger and larger from Caitlin and Angel. It can become more offensive and more offensive.
Especially if Angel Reese ends up winning a WNBA championship. You understand?
Yes.
See, you have your popularity vote. And then you have your actual achievements in your profession.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So Dr. Umar may be very popular in the community, but I also have my achievements as a school psychologist. You see, there's a difference there.
Yes.
So somebody can say, you might be more popular than me, but you ain't saved more children from the school to prison pipeline than me.
Yes.
I can say I'm more popular than you, and I save more children from the school to prison pipe. You understand?
Yeah.
So Caitlin Clark can always throw in Angel Reese's face, I'm more popular than you. White people have made me the face of the league, right?
Yes.
And Angel Reese can say, that's fine, but I still got this, and you don't, and I got it on your time. Ooh. Do you see that? Ooh. Do you see that? Yeah. Because you got to understand the narcissism that is at the heart of the collective white personality. They're not supposed to lose to black people ever.
Cooking.
Now, let's go to this. First of all, I think it is such hypocrisy for white people and the Negroes who serve them like RG3 to try to turn Angel Reese into a perpetrator of a crime when she was the victim here. Once again, they have made Caitlin Clark
the victim.
The victim. She committed the foul.
Yes.
They made her the victim. Wow. That's how white privilege operates.
Wow.
Let's look how when the police unalive us, right? The young man in Cincinnati whose father unalived the police officer Hinton in response to a police officer unaliving his son, right?
Right.
They still made the police officer in the murder of the child. They still made the police officer the victim, although he pulled the trigger. This is how white America operates. Even when black people are victimized, you're somehow responsible for it. They made Angel Reese responsible for the hard foul by Caitlin Clark. Now let's get to RG3 and Ryan Clark. RG3 does a podcast a couple of days ago. And with his white wife in the background, sitting there like a slave master supervising her slave on a plantation. With his wife in the background, RG3 proceeds to insult, denigrate, incriminate, and insult and belittle Angel Reese. He mocked her using stereotypical, exaggerated black ghetto behavioral demonstration. Yes. Talked about how she hates Angel Reese. He said, Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. He said,
blatantly said.
Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. And I know this. Excuse me, RG3. Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark? How do you know this? I'm a psychologist and I can't read nobody's mind. I tell people all the time, I'm not a psychic. I'm a psychologist.
Difference.
I can't read your mind. I can analyze what comes out of it, but I can't read it. RG3 became a psychic in front of his snow bunny, telling the world that I can read Angel Reese's mind. First of all, even if you were a psychic, you done been around snow bunnies too long for you to even understand black women. First of all, he was already married to a snow bunny.
Right. That's what Ryan said. Yeah.
Got a divorce.
Yeah. Second
was
one.
cheating on the first snow bunny with the current snow bunny. So you went from snow bunny to snow bunny, and then you got the audacity to try to belittle a black woman to make your white wife feel better about herself. You don't ever, no black man should ever insult or criticize, even honestly, a black woman in the presence of a white woman.
Yes.
Because guess what? If Angel Reese was white, he would have never said any of that.
Right.
If Angel Reese was white, RG3 would have never said none of that. So Ryan Clark spoke the truth.
Yes.
Ryan Clark said, listen, you don't have conversations about what black women go through. You've dedicated your life to not one, but two snow bunnies. I'm going to call him RG2. I'll call him RG3 when he get divorced and get a third snow bunny. So he's RG2. Two snow bunnies, RG2, right?
Yeah.
And then you got her in the background showing the world how proud I am to be married to this white woman. See that? First of all, you know my position.
Yeah.
Black men who date and marry white women wish they were white themselves. Let's just keep it a buck. You're talking about a group of people who have historically and systemically devalued, dehumanized, and destroyed African life and culture, and you want to marry one of them. To marry a Caucasian is to play for their team and fight for their army. To marry a Caucasian is to play for their team and fight for their army. And then RG3 like a coward. Like a coward. He comes back at Ryan Clark and he says, you hit below the belt when you brought my family in this. Loon. He didn't bring his family in it.
Right.
He said you married two white women.
He just said your decisions
your
were
decision.
informed.
He talked about your decision.
By something. Yeah.
Who don't know you got two snow bunnies? Ryan Clark ain't talking about your wife. He didn't say one bad thing about your wife. He said nothing bad about your beautiful children. He said you chose to marry two white women. But look at the double standard and the hypocrisy. You just disrespected a 23-year-old girl, Angel Reese. You talked about her like a dog.
Right.
Told her she hates this little white girl.
Yeah.
Disrespected her, insulted her, mocked her. This is what you did, RG3. And because he reminded you that you go home to a white woman, he's wrong. Look at this. Ryan Clark is wrong for reminding me I married two white women. But I'm not wrong for disrespecting Angel Reese on the internet.
Do you think that him saying you went too far bringing my family in is him signaling to ESPN?
Of course, because he said ESPN. He said this is not a good look for ESPN.
See, he said, y'all see me, Master, standing up for white folks now.
He is a house Negro. And don't get me wrong, back when he played for the the Redskins, I believe it was, Mike Shanahan, I believe, unfairly cut RG3's career short when he made him go out there and play while he was injured. I don't know if you remember that.
I think I do.
He was not fully recovered, right? Because he was a damn good quarterback.
Yeah, he was.
Could have been one of the best. Mike Shanahan made RG3 get out there and play before he was fully healed, and that stopped him from fully becoming what he should have been. I think it was wrong. So the brother's career was cut short by racism.
Right.
Because they would have never done that to a white quarterback.
Why would he not say, I'm not going out till I'm healed? Like the white man can make you go out knowing that you're not healed.
Depends on the politics of that situation.
But you don't think so?
I wouldn't have done
Antonio Brown took his shirt off and said, I'm out of here.
Right. But
at some point,
to your point, it comes back to whether or not you're willing to compromise your black masculinity.
Yeah, that's the thing.
A big conversation that we as black men need to have with each other without our women around is when are we going to start compromising our black masculinity for money, When are we going to stop compromising our black masculinity to get access to Snow Bunny coochie? When are we going to stop compromising our black masculinity to get jobs? When are we going to stop compromising our black masculinity to access privileged white spaces? You feel me?
Right.
Because black men, unlike any other men in this country, and I understand why, because we're more under attack, we compromise our masculinity too much. Too much. And for RG3 to sit up there and say this is a bad look for ESPN.
Yeah.
Why are you bringing that man's job into this?
That's crazy.
His podcast, your podcast. Right. Your private podcast, his private podcast, and you're going to bring his job in it. So you saying because he reminded you married 2 white women, he's supposed to lose his job? But it was okay for you to disrespect Angel Reese. Look at the difference.
Yeah.
Don't even mention a white woman.
Right.
Don't even mention a white woman. You should be fired. But it's okay for me to perfectly disrespect this young kid, this young 23-year-old sister who's been disrespected enough. And I'm going to add on top of it to prove to my wife and her family that you can trust me anytime against my own people. Mm-hmm. And then people said, well, Ryan Clark has no business talking because he has a baby by a snow bunny. And this is what I'll say to that. I don't know him personally, and I don't know his background well. But from what I've seen, Ryan Clark is one of the more racially conscious sports commentators we have.
Yes.
Stephen A goes back and forth. Sometimes Stephen A stand hard.
Yes.
And other times he will coon out.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? So I believe that when Ryan Clark made that beautiful child, right? Mm-hmm. He was not, politically speaking, who he is now. I believe he had to evolve.
Yes.
And as I've said before, and I don't know if you and I had this conversation, but as I've said before, if a black man commits an offense against the race, such as bunny hopping, but you learn from it, and you self-correct, and you promise to never go back that way, right? I don't have a problem with you coming back into the race. From what I can see, and only Ryan Clark can clarify, but from what I can see, it appears that that child, that beautiful child that he made with that Caucasian woman, was made a long time ago. And since that time, Ryan Clark has grown into a socially conscious and politically loyal black man. And if that is the case, if he is completely healed from the Snow Bunny crisis, he has a right to speak on it. Because Ryan Clark's wife ain't white, RG3, she black.
Right. Yeah, and it's true. Hey, check these cameras too, sir. Make sure they're still going. Also, I want to talk about this because there's a growing concern with me that I'm noticing, like, because now I have a community, right, with this podcast and all of this. So sometimes I go in and I speak with the community. I went in there and there's this constant conversation about interracial dating. And it's, as you know, it gets a lot of traction online. People are interested in why is it divided or why is it so inclusive? There's questions on both sides. But I want to speaking about RG3 and black men loving white women or choosing to marry and have children and procreate with white women. It seems like that a large percentage of these gentlemen that I've bumped into or have had conversation with, the minute that they love on a white woman and they get into a nuclear family with her, they abandon all understanding and love that they had for black women, even their mother. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. It's almost like the way that they speak about black women after they now are dating white, the way that they view them and keep them away. And I heard one guy say something that highly offensive. Keep the dirty mouth black women away from. And I'm like, your mother is black. Mm-hmm. How did you abandon the love, the nurture that she gave you? What happened in that process? As a psychologist, what is your outlook on black men getting with white women and abandoning all understanding and love that they had for even their black mother?
There could have been trauma from the mother in some of them circumstances. Sometimes the trauma can be so acute that the pain forces you to go into a completely different direction. That's very true. My mother abused me. My mother sexually assaulted me. My mother allowed other people to abuse me, sexually assault me. My mother was emotionally unavailable. Trauma can do that. But even in trauma, Loon, there is still self-hate involved because you know what white people have done to you and continue to do to you. You understand? No snow bunny hopper is ignorant of the fact that white people have been the greatest enemies of African people. Nobody is ignorant to that. So, because remember now, although I don't support you going to the Arab, I don't support you going to the Asian, I don't support you going to the Indian or the non-African Latino, those were still options for the bunny hopper. You chose white on purpose. You see? So in choosing white, you're making it clear I'm self-alienated.
Right.
In choosing white, you're making it clear I'm a self-hater. In choosing white, you're making it clear I don't want my children to look like my mother. You are making it crystal clear I am switching sides, and I'm switching sides publicly.
That's crazy.
And for people, and this is where I'm going to respectfully disagree with my brother Stephen A. Smith, because Stephen A. Smith responded to the RG3 Ryan Clark situation. And I thought he gave a pretty reasonable and leveled critique. But where I'm going to disagree with my brother Stephen A. Smith, and I know he had to say this because he got a bag to protect, right? He told Ryan Clark, don't bring up his wife and children. He didn't. He just reminded him that they were white. And Stephen A. Smith said this too, right?
Right.
But Stephen A. Smith kind of stated or alluded to the fact that his wife being white has nothing to do with it. You're wrong. Stephen A. Smith, you're wrong. That man's wife being white has everything to do with this situation because he's disrespecting a black woman while sleeping with a white one. It has everything to do with it. You can't say a snow bunny hopper is publicly disrespecting a 23-year-old black girl, young black sister, and it has nothing to do with the fact that he's married 2 white women. Right. It has everything to do with the fact that he married 2 white women.
Right.
And Ryan Clark has a right to speak on it because he's a recovered bunny hopper, no longer participating.
Do you think that what was his logic behind why it's irrelevant?
Personally, I just think he was protecting his job.
Okay, yeah.
Because you got to remember something with our celebrities and entertainers, and I respect Stephen A. because, like I said, sometimes Stephen go hard.
Right.
Sometimes he coons out, but he's better than most.
Right.
He's better than most.
Yeah.
Some don't even touch it.
Right.
Stephen A. Smith will at least touch it, so I got to give the brother some respect. In the white world, and for you to survive in it, you have to assume a racially ambiguous attitude towards all political issues. It's a tightrope.
Right.
You understand? It's a tightrope. And the reason why people are trying to call for Ryan Clark's job, and I do want to support Stephen A. Smith in standing up for Ryan Clark. He said this man ain't going to lose his job.
And he's a
over
powerful
this.
voice over there.
Yeah. And Stephen A. Smith said, I'm going to raise holy hell.
Right.
I'm not in charge.
Right.
But I'm going to raise holy hell if anybody tries to fire this man for telling the truth about this man.
Right.
So shout out to Stephen A. Smith for taking his brother's back on that.
Right.
Okay? But because you have to act politically naive, in order to be a successful black entertainer, that includes sports, you have to assume a political naivete in the face of obvious injustice. Think about that, Loon. You sitting on you sitting on a panel on TV, and the police just unalive somebody. RG3 just disrespected your little sister Angel Reese with his slave master, handler, overseer, slave driver in the back, cheering him on with the whip. Loon, she had a whip, whipping him, tear it down. But guess what? You have to act like him having a white wife has nothing to do with this. You have to assume this posture of political naivete. Yeah. You have to commit historical amnesia every time you go to work, Loon. Think about that. Every time I go to work, I gotta act like I don't know what my people been through. Because if I show the slightest political integrity or cultural loyalty, I can lose my job.
Here we go, y'all. He cooking.
See, this is why LeBron James stood with Israel against Palestine, but did nothing when that brother was shot dozens of times in Akron, Ohio. Jalen Walker got hit with almost 100 bullets by the white police, and all LeBron James said is, I gotta pray. I gotta pray. But when Israel invaded Palestine and started unaliving all those people over there, you stood with Israel. Because as a black entertainer, if you want to be successful in white space, you have to commit historical suicide.
Ooh, that boy is cooking today, you got. So back to...
Now, see, here's the thing, though, real quick.
Go ahead.
Now that the white man knows Ryan Clark is not only politically conscious, they're not upset about you being politically conscious. Stephen A. Smith is politically conscious, but Ryan Clark is loyal as well.
Yeah, the loyalty what get it.
It's the loyalty. Ryan Clark's comments made it clear, I'm a black man first.
Yeah, because the loyalty informs your decision making.
Yes. So now the white man is like, damn, he's politically conscious like Stephen A., but he's more loyal to black people.
So he'll move on it.
He'll move on it. So now Ryan Clark, he's not going to lose his job. But once again, there will be certain opportunities he may not get now because the power structure knows you stand with the Negroes in the field, not the ones in the house.
Yeah. And so also getting back to the community that when I went in there and they was talking about, the dirty mouth or just like you say, some of the historical overreaches that they use as it pertains to black women. It just doesn't feel like trauma driven to me because the particular things that they were pointing out, meaning, because you know me, I like to have a conversation.
Yes,
what are you saying? What is that? Like I'm highly upset and you're about to get kicked out of here. But before I kick you out, what is that? Like, why are you talking about black women in this way? In any instances, like you say, even if honest, that means even if it's the truth, why is this even coming out of your mouth when your black mother took care of you?
Because you are proving that you are politically harmless to white folks. See, the white woman for the black man is the political surrender flag, Loon. When I walk into a space with a white woman, I'm letting every white person know I am not loyal to my community. I'm not loyal to my mother. I'm not loyal to my father. I'm not loyal to my neighbors, the children I went to college with. I am loyal to you. The white woman is the black man's nonverbal mouthpiece. By having her next to you, you are making a political statement to the world that I am loyal to the white power structure.
Yeah, and so I asked, I'm like, yo, what is, man, I don't like, they talk too much, they argue too much. Listen, black women love me, I love black women. I don't hear no bunch of arguing.
But here's the question I would have to any black man who maligns and denigrates black women to justify dating white. First of all, you were going to date white even if you were treated well, because your abhorrence for black women is not just about how she treated you. Your abhorrence to black women is about the fact you always wanted a white one. You're just using her as the excuse for why you are there.
Right.
We've all been mistreated before by women.
Period.
But I never abandoned them.
Right.
You understand?
Yes.
You wanted white women anyway.
Yes.
You're just using black women as the excuse. And this is how I explain it. Who has mistreated the black man more? The black woman or the white man? There is no black man in America who can say, I've been mistreated more by black women than white men. You a damn lie.
Right.
Who locked you up?
Right.
Who miseducated?
Right.
Who fired you? Who won't give you a job? You understand?
Yes.
Most of the black man's problems in America were caused by the white man, not the black woman. Why you don't have the same smoke for him?
Yeah, and
why you don't have the same smoke for America that you have for the black woman? If it's purely about how you've been treated, you should be way more angry at white men than black women.
That's a whole fact.
It's because you love white people. And having sex with that white woman is the way you try to psychologically prove to yourself that you're equal to her white man.
Right. And the scapegoat is
Look, Shannon Sharpe and Terrell Owens said when I went to school, black girls called me ugly.
well,
Shannon Sharpe and Terrell Owens, when I was young, going through school, black women called me ugly. Right? But Shannon Sharpe, you let a 19-year-old snow bunny put a dog leash around your damn neck and walk you around calling you monkeys and apes and the N-word. So you mean to tell me you don't date black women because they called you ugly when you was a child? But you'll let a white woman dog walk your ass butt naked around her bedroom, calling you every monkey and ape and N-word there can be. But it's okay when the white woman disrespects me. It's okay for the white woman to put a dog collar around my neck and call me the N-word. It's okay for the white woman to put a dog collar around my neck and force me to engage in racist sexual play. But if a black girl calls me ugly, I'll never date one again.
Yeah, don't make
But
sense.
a white woman could dog walk me butt naked and call me an ape and a gorilla and an N-word. And it's perfectly fine. You a goddamn hypocrite. Yeah. You hate yourself and you hate black women. Stop making excuses.
right. And sometimes it feels like that they don't hate black. It just feels like they hate what a black woman had to be. A lot of times black women are kicked into survival mode. So sometimes that
We are responsible for how they are. They say, I like the white woman because she's passive, she's docile, she's feminine, she's supportive, she allows me to lead. You know why? Because she don't need you for anything, idiot. The white woman needs nothing from the black man. Let me say it again. The white woman needs nothing from the black man. Let me say it one more time. The white woman needs nothing from the black man. And when she's tired of you, she'll just accuse you of rape or get a divorce and take half your damn bag.
Right.
Shannon Sharpe about to pay this white girl $25,000 per cheek.
and she looked like 2013 Steve Nash.
Look like a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah,
and you're gonna pay her $25,000 for an ass cheek she don't even have.
Man, she looked like she needed to be passing the stardom mile.
And then they got the nerve to be calling black women gold diggers. Well, if black women are the gold diggers, Loon, show me an OnlyFans model. Show me a black OnlyFans model who about to get $25,000 a cheek.
Right.
And them sisters got fat asses.
They worth the 25.
You feel me?
Yeah.
You talk about center buns.
Listen.
They got the center buns,
Man.
and they not getting 25 grand a cheek.
I'm looking at
this
that
white girl
shit.
ain't got no backside, and you about to give her 25 grand a cheek because it wasn't about the body. It wasn't about the looks.
It was the craving.
It was about the color of the flesh. This is about whiteness. I want proximity to whiteness.
So do you think, Shannon?
The closer I am to white people, the better I feel about myself.
So you think Shannon Sharpe? Because I sometimes think that it's the activity. I sometimes
You don't find
think,
it odd that the brothers who go the most for the white girls tend to be the darker brothers?
Yeah, I definitely find that odd.
And I'm saying this as a dark-skinned brother.
Yeah, I find that odd.
Look at them. Don't get me wrong. You get light-skinned brothers and mixed-race brothers, they got a white mother.
Right.
We understand.
Yeah.
Not acceptable, but we understand. You get light-skinned brothers who only date white.
Right.
But in my experience, my dark-skinned brothers, they go crazy over Snow Bunny vagina.
Yeah.
They go crazy over Snow Bunny vagina.
It activates something.
Look at RG3. You just got a divorce and went and wifed up another bunny. Self-hatred, brother. There's a book, France Fanon. I don't know if you heard of him. He was from Martinique.
Okay.
He's one of our greatest black revolutionaries. They murdered him not too long after they murdered Dr. King. They had to get him out the way because he was serious.
Okay.
He was a psychiatrist. He wrote a book called Black Skin, White Mass. Every Snow Bunny hopper needs to read Black Skin, White Mass. And guess what? He had a Snow Bunny, but he told the truth. He told the truth. He talked about how black men who date white women have an aspect of self-hate. And by dating her, you're trying to baptize yourself into equality with the Caucasian men.
Wow. And
that's why I don't trust black men who date white women.
At all.
Never.
Wow.
You go home to my enemy and you don't think I know you telling her what we just talked about? Because you got to remember, the black man knows he's always at the mercy of her. He always look at Gabriella Asu Ninjas. Look at Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp.
She's a 21-year-old OnlyFans. It don't matter. I got the whole U.S. government on my side. Look at this white girl. She talking about something he sexually abused me. And I don't trivialize sex assault, right? Because black women are assaulted more than anybody else.
Right.
But if he sexually assaulted you once, you let him back in again?
Yeah, that
because he brought Christmas gifts and birthday gifts?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Loon!
It don't make sense.
Oh, Snow Bunny was sexually assaulted by a black Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
And he showed up a few weeks later with Christmas gifts and birthday gifts.
And you went for it.
And you let him back in to do it again? But here's the biggest piece. You never called the cops. Now, with Shannon Sharp, right? There was another woman came out accusing him of abuse that happened, 10 years ago?
I seen that too, yeah.
Right? I don't think he's guilty of either one. You know why? Because there's not a white woman in America, Loon, who you sexually assault who ain't getting your ass locked up. Think about that, brother.
Yeah. 10
Do
years.
you realize the biggest social crime in American history, historically, until 1967 outlawed the ban on interracial marriage? The biggest social crime in America was a black man with a white woman. They hung us from trees off the accusation.
Wow.
They hung us from trees, even if it was consensual on the white woman's part. And you mean to tell me you're a white woman who got SA'd by a black male celebrity and you never called the police? Shannon Sharp, you never called the police? Bill Cosby? Give me a damn
What
break.
do you say to people who say believe victims, believe the people who say that they've been assaulted? Because there's a large percentage of
I believe victims, but I'm not believing no privileged white girl who don't get a black man arrested because black men are presumed guilty until proven innocent. Now, if these women were black, Loon, now we got a gray area.
Right.
I know why black women don't tell, because they don't get white women privilege. Black women are assumed to be sexually promiscuous. Black women are assumed to be Jezebels.
He's cooking now.
Black women are assumed to be manipulators of men. This is why black women don't call the police. This is why black women don't do rape kits. This is why black women don't sue celebrities. They're not going to get no damn money. If a black woman sues Shannon Sharp, she not getting no damn money.
He'll fight her to the end.
He'll fight it to the end. But I will voluntarily, because he volunteered.
10 million.
Volunteered. And she only wanted 25 grand a cheek. It went from 25 grand a cheek to 25 million a cheek. And y'all calling my sisters gold diggers? Y'all calling my sisters gold diggers? RG3, what's your child support? I know his ex-wife tried to get $36,000 a month. I don't know if she got it. RG3, what's your child support?
Goodness.
And you got these. Tiger Woods' ex-wife got $100 million. What black woman you know got $100 million?
Right.
When Robert De Niro divorced his black wife, did you see what the judge told Robert De Niro ex-black wife?
What?
We're going to give you $1 million a year as long as you stay single. Did you hear that? You're supposed to get half the bag. You're supposed to get half the Loon. They didn't give her nothing. They said you're going to get $1 million a year until you get married. And if you ever remarry, you don't get another dime.
Oh, man.
We are not winning in this snow bunny hunt.
Right.
We are losing, and we can't see it because we hate ourselves so much and love white people so much, we don't even recognize we being played. In fact, Loon, I would say we need to open up a business, brother. We need to start a snow bunny leasing agency.
Right.
Start leasing them out.
Because
all you doing is leasing them. Shannon Sharp was leasing her.
Sure was.
He was leasing her.
Sure was.
But they didn't give him the bill till it was over. Bill Cosby was leasing them white girls. RG3 was leasing that first wife. This ain't no relationship. This is business for money. Pleasure for money. And when I'm done being leased, just like with a lease, I'm going to turn your ass in, and you're going to have to pay the extra fees.
Ooh, all the extra mileage.
This ain't nothing but a damn snow bunny leasing cry. They leasing these. Somebody need to start a snow bunny leasing agency.
Right, yeah.
You want a white girl? How long you want her for?
Yeah, me and Umar, we
And
got
I'm going to tell you something else, and I, this is funny, but I believe it's going to happen sooner or later. I believe it.
Hey,
if you black.
Brother, go in and get him some paper towel if you don't mind.
If you black, I'm good.
Oh,
Good looking,
good,
King.
good.
If you black, and you in the insurance company, this is for all my black insurance brokers right now. Somebody need to come up with an insurance policy, Loon, for interracial dating. There needs to be an insurance policy for black men who date bunnies, not just snow bunnies, the rice bunnies, the sand bunnies, the salsa bunnies, all of them. Because as you can see, when you are rich and you are black and you are dating outside your race, there is an increased likelihood that you are going to be financially compromised by the end of this relationship. There should be snow bunny insurance. If I was an insurance broker, I would create a snow bunny insurance policy for these black men. And I would charge their asses up.
Yeah. What do you think Shannon Sharp's fate is going to be?
As I said earlier, financially, he's going to be fine because he's in the podcast world. What is ESPN going to do? On the one hand, he's very popular.
Yes.
I think they keep him. But I think what they had in store for him, he ain't going to get that.
Right.
I think he stays with ESPN because he brings the views. You feel me? But I think that they were looking at him for other things that he's no longer going to get. Take Jonathan Majors, right?
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors is still acting. But there's certain roles that they were going to put that brother in, he will never be considered forever again. Because in the white world, to just be accused of sex assault with a snow bunny is to be convicted.
Yeah, it's definitely over for that. They don't play the same type of, like you say, you have no benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying?
And you know another reason why white folks don't have any mercy for snow bunny hoppers? Because they know what they didn't put us through. Even though I don't like black people as a white person, right. Even though they don't like you, Loon.
Yeah.
Sometimes they got to respect the fact that you standing on your square. White people can't stand me.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, one of them will pull me to the side. And they'll say, I don't agree with you on many things, but I got to respect the fact you one of the only ones I see that go hard for your people.
Right.
And you ain't no ex-con doing this.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You're a brother with all the credentials I got.
Yes.
And you doing this for you. You see?
That's
so they got to respect you because you like, I'm not folding.
Yes.
So when you see a multi-millionaire black man who publicly tells the world, I don't date black women, and then they get snow bunnied, how the hell you going to feel any sympathy for them?
Craziness.
And that's why when I see the sisters saying, well, I don't care, let them destroy him. I understand where the sisters is coming from, but I don't go that far. See, the reason I got to stand with Shannon Sharp, even though he's a bunny hopper, is because I have to look at the greater issue here. In the greater issue here, we can't make it easy for white women to fabricate charges against black men, because the day it'll be Shannon Sharp, tomorrow it'll be you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I got to take it seriously because I know how this goes. People say, why you defending Puffy? I'm not defending Puffy. If Puffy sexually trafficked people, Puffy should go to jail. All I'm saying is I ain't seen no evidence of it. I ain't seen no evidence of it. And this whole trial so far has been nothing but a narrative about freak-offs.
Yeah.
I ain't seen no RICO evidence. I ain't seen no interstate prostitution evidence. And I ain't seen no interstate sex trafficking evidence. That's what the Fed indictment is on. The Fed indictment is not about kicking Cassie in the hallway, although that was wrong and he should have never done it.
Yes.
This case has nothing to do with Cassie, but she's the star witness.
Yes.
How in the hell is the star witness somebody who has nothing to do with the case? Y'all detailing freak-offs, y'all detailing who was here, which has me thinking, Loon, I don't know if this is so much about Puff as it is about exposing his inner circle.
Meaning?
All y'all doing is exposing who was involved.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I ain't seen no evidence of no crime.
So let me
freak off is not illegal. It's okay to be a freak in America.
Yeah.
Most of them celebrities are. Look what Hugh Hefner did. This is what they do in them secret societies.
Yeah.
Show me evidence of a crime. Every day in court has been a narrative on a freak off session.
Yeah,
that's not against the law. Show me evidence of federal crime.
There's something to be said about these black men's sexual appetite, though, and it's leading to disaster, right?
Oh,
when we talk about
demonic
Shannon
possession.
Sharp, yeah, it's like
demonic possession.
Something happening. Like even with Shannon, that's why I'm wondering how much of it is him craving this experience that
I'm disappointed in Shannon.
Yeah,
First of all, I'm disappointed in any black man who will let a white woman allegedly call you out your name for the purposes of sexual pleasure. Do you know what she must think about you as a human being?
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute, Loon.
Yeah.
You're letting me do this to you?
Yeah.
After what your people
in the
have
name
been?
of sex.
Any black man who engages in racial sex play with a woman of any other race is letting that woman know I have no self-respect at all. It's one thing to date him. It's one thing to marry him. It's something else to give him a child. But no, I'm going to let you treat me like a slave in your bedroom and call me out of my name for the purposes of sexual demonic possession.
Is it akin to also in sexual relationships you'll have women who might not necessarily let you call them a bitch, but excuse my language, but when you are in the bedroom, you can get the bitch off. That's my bitch, or little things like that. What do you say about those?
But if you're
parallels?
saying that's you with your queen,
right,
that's something else.
Yeah.
We're talking about two different race groups where one is a member of a group that has historically, systemically, and extensively exploited and dehumanized the other. Do you understand?
Yes.
So this ain't just imagination.
You can't ignore the historical
You are
context.
invoking the historical pain of your ancestors.
That's true.
You are invoking the historical pain of your ancestors, Loon, for the benefit of a white woman's sexual pleasure.
Right. Yeah.
Brother.
That's a little, that's
Brother,
a bit much.
That is deep sin.
Yeah, it's a bit
and
much.
I believe that a lot of these black male celebrities and a lot of black men in general are under demonic possession, brother. Because one of the best ways that the forces of evil invade your space and in your life is through sex. Because when you're having sex, the shield that all guard is down. The shield that generally protects your soul, it's down. That veil is torn off. So whatever you are doing in the bedroom is going to have a reverberative effect on the way you think, feel, and behave.
Yes.
And so when I listen to what they say Puffy was doing and urinating and Cassie,
let's get into Diddy too.
Why are you doing all this?
Right.
I'm going to be honest with you. I believe in Sean Combs. And like I said, I'm standing with him until proven guilty. But I believe in the case of Sean Combs. When I listen to the sex acts that took place at these freak-offs, for him, for Cassie, I'm going to go with Shannon Sharp with the sex play, right? Slave plantation play. These men experienced deep, profound emotional wounds as children. Puffy's sex addiction, Cassie's sex addiction, Shannon Sharp's slave plantation role play addiction. These are addictions that developed because they use sex as their outlet to deal with their unaddressed psychological wounds. Do you feel me?
Yes.
If I was able to get Puffy on that couch alone for 2 hours, me and Puff, I promise you I could find out what the real problem is that you're trying to drown out with your sex off, with your freak offs.
Yes.
The freak offs, Loon, are an escape from reality.
Yes.
Shannon Sharp's sexual role play with Gabrielle Asu Ninjas, that's an escape from your psychological pain. Anytime you see people engaging in extreme, repeated sexual behavior, this is a drug. This is a sedative.
Yeah.
This is my
It's
escape.
the heroin. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Puffy,
And that's why
what
I
are
say
you running
that-
from?
that-
Cassie, what are you running from? Shannon Sharp, what are you running from? I personally believe with my brother Shannon Sharp, no disrespect to him because I think he's a good guy. I think Shannon is fundamentally a good guy. I don't get bad energy from him. He hate himself though. Shannon needs some deep-seated racial healing therapy, bro. Because you already said the black girls called you ugly.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and let the white girl treat you like a ninja.
Goodness gracious.
Low self-esteem. Money can't fix that.
Right. Yeah, nah, for sure. When we're dealing with Diddy in particular, for people who are unaware, you have to be living under a rock. Diddy is on trial for a RICO and several other charges in the Southern
Interstate
District.
sex trafficking, interstate prostitution.
Interstate sex trafficking.
The Mann Act in particular.
Yeah, I know about that Mann Act, and I
Because
know
they
used
created
it against
that.
the boxer.
Jack Johnson. They
Yes.
created it for Jack Johnson
Yes.
because he openly paraded around white women.
Yes.
Right? This is in the 1920s.
Yes.
This is Garvey time. You ain't even have no civil rights.
was
And this
on-
black guy, and by the way, I think they killed him. Remember, he died in a car accident. Tragic car accident.
okay.
I think they cut his brake line.
Back then they
I
did
think they
shit
killed
like
him.
that.
I think Jack Johnson was murdered.
Right.
But he prayed around with these white women, so the feds came up with the Mann Act, which was also called the White
slavery.
Sex Trafficking Act.
Yeah.
If you take a woman across state lines, right, to have sex, that could be considered interstate prostitution. Now, let me tell you how they changing the game with Puff. This is important for every black man in America, you, me, because we know women across state lines, do we not?
Yes.
Pay attention to this Puff trial. Because what I think they're trying to do with the Mann Act now is I think they are trying to create a new precedent in law.
Yes. With
Diddy.
Yes.
But it's going to affect us all.
Yes.
Where if a woman flies in to see you, Loon, this just lady friend.
Yeah, it's
You
regular.
ain't paying for no
Yeah.
sex. This is we getting to know each other. This is regular romance. If she crossed state lines, you can be charged with the Mann Act. Do you know how many black men would go to jail? Because they're not going to use it on white men.
Right.
They're not going to use it on yellow men.
And it's about when
the
they
law
use
has
it.
always been selectively applied.
Exactly.
Imagine how many black men
Exactly.
could be brought up on charges if a woman ever flew in from another state to spend time
That's
with you.
every day. That's
every day.
everybody.
But they trying to set it up.
That's what I'm saying. And
They
they
trying-
have to set precedent with Diddy. So if they can blur the lines.
And guess what else they got to set? To your point with the precedent, we need black people to co-sign it.
Right.
Listen to all the black women who's saying he need to suffer.
Right.
Black men who's saying he need to suffer.
Yeah.
If you let them convict Puff on the Mann Act with no evidence of forced sex trafficking or activity, where you basically say convict him just because somebody crossed state lines to have a freak off, all of us can end up with federal charges.
What do you say to Cassie's testimony? What's your thoughts on how Cassie has handled herself, some of the allegations she's made? Does she come off as truthful to you, or how do you feel about
I didn't watch, but I read the reports.
You can't watch. All you
Right.
can do is read.
Right. I believe she was as much a freak as Puff was.
If not more.
If not more.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to claim that she was purely a victim is in denial. It's Loon, there's no way. I don't care how much grooming. You're not a child. You're a grown woman, and you mixed race on top of that, so you got a white parent. You feel? There's no way you're doing all of this if you don't want to.
Do you think that,
No way.
from a psychologist standpoint,
Not for a woman with a white parent.
what about the Stockholm Syndrome thing that people are trying to
Oh, that's very
parade
real.
around?
I believe that all of that bears some truth in this case, but cannot be completely explained by it. Here's the problem I had with the Cassie supporters, right? And I empathize with the sister as well because
Right.
Puffy did take advantage of her.
Yeah.
The problem I'm having, Loon, is I'm seeing people go out of their way and make excuses for her because she's not an all-black woman. If Cassie wasn't light-skinned and mixed race, do you really think she would be getting this type of sympathy from the black community?
Right.
Or the America at all? No.
Right.
It's because she was mixed race that people are coming to her aid. If this was Lizzo in this case, you feel me? She wouldn't get half the sympathy. She would be called a gold digger, and if you didn't want to be there, you could have left. You feel me? Yes.
I didn't think about
Black
that.
women don't give black women that type of support. This is only happening because Cassie is mixed race. Yes.
But there's a lot of people who are, so from a psychologist standpoint, can you explain even what Stockholm Syndrome means to people?
Stockholm Syndrome is when someone grooms you, dominates, destroys you to the point where they eliminate any imagination or memory of you being independent or wanting independence. You start to depend on them. You start to rely on them. They become your world, and you start to believe that you cannot exist without them, despite the fact that they are punishing you, manipulating you, and putting your life in danger. Our enslavement in America, post-traumatic slavery disease, is a form of Stockholm Syndrome.
Okay.
It's the most pronounced form,
Right.
but it's a form of Stockholm Syndrome.
Okay. So
It's basically brainwash.
Right.
Cut you off from the world, what any domestically abusive man does.
Right.
I'm going to cut her off from her family. I'm going to cut her off from her friends. I'm going to cut her off from her church, her social network, right?
Right.
And I'm going to remake her world because the brain is what? The victim of repetition. I don't care how intelligent you are. The brain is not conditioned on intelligence alone.
Right.
This is why you say, why some of our greatest black scholars had white wives. I'm talking about African-centered scholars. Sheikh Anta Diop, the black man who proved that the mummies in Egypt was black, had a white wife. You know why? Because intellectual knowledge is one thing. Deep-seated unconscious conditioning is something else. Stockholm Syndrome is deep-seated unconscious conditioning. What did Adolf Hitler say? Adolf Hitler said, and I'm no fan of Hitler because he not only killed Jews, he killed Africans too. And I got an issue with the European Jews who never highlight the Africans who were murdered with them in the concentration camps and don't even highlight the Africans who delivered them from the concentration camps. It was black soldiers in World War II, Loon,
They
who
couldn't
liberated.
fight. We had to
Yes!
fight for them. Yeah.
Yes!
Strong.
Yes!
Yeah.
And you don't see them honored in no Holocaust museum. And they never talk about the fact that they participated in our slavery. Who insured the slave ships? Who built the ships? Who put the insurance?
That's what.
It was them, European Jews. And nobody ever talks about that. So you want the world to hurt for you. No problem. But what about the hurt you caused us? But getting back to this point, brainwash. Adolf Hitler said, if you want to control people, it's not difficult. He said, come up with a lie. Make the lie big, Loon. The lie got to be supreme. And just keep telling it over and over again. The human mind cannot resist
Ignore, yeah.
what it is constantly told to believe, even if it's not true. And who was Adolf Hitler's propaganda minister? Joseph Goebbels, a psychologist.
Do you see Stockholm Syndrome in Cassie's explanation of events?
I see some of it, but I do think she's exploiting a lot of it.
So that's what I don't understand.
Here's the thing. Cassie willingly subjected herself to Sean Combs because she wanted access to the fame.
Exactly.
There is no getting around it. Was there manipulation? Yes. I'll even give you a 50-50 split if you want, Loon. But anybody who tries to tell me, Dr. Umar, Cassie's experience with Sean Puffy Combs was 100% outside of her realm of control and exclusively due to his manipulation and brainwash. Hell no, you get no vote from me.
Yeah, because
you get no vote from me.
I always say to myself, because even now, like I said, I'm in the dating market and you meet women, you say, all right, I got to be careful. Like you say.
Oh, you better be careful now.
Yeah, it's very careful.
It is open season on black men. Notice you don't see the same thing with white men. You get you a Harvey Weinstein every once in a while, but you don't see nothing like this,
right?
Because it's not allowed.
And you're not even if you see a Harvey Weinstein, you won't even see the paranoia following that we have seeing Diddy going through that.
He appealing his case right now. He appealing his case right now. He might go home,
right?
But right now, if you're a black man, because I'm looking at this, and I'm political,
right?
And I'm like, you know what? You almost got to have an NDA anytime you go on a date. You follow what I'm saying?
It's so bad, man.
You cannot get into any kind of an argument because she can very easily lie and either say she felt threatened or she can just say you put hands on her. Look what Lil Wayne's situation. Right? And of course, he was bunny hopping, right? Had no business doing that, coonish behavior. But she said he put her out. And then she also accused him of putting hands on her.
And asked for a lawyer.
Right. Listen, no evidence. For black men, you don't need evidence. All you have to do is make the accusation. So you got to be careful now because it is popular now to destroy black men on false allegations of sex abuse. However, I still don't see black women getting away with it the way white women are. You follow what I'm saying? They have a privilege our sisters do not have. Lil Wayne, he was bunny hopping. He might got to pay up. All these black men dating outside the race, they got to start rethinking it now, Loon.
Right. And here's another thing, right? So it's like you sit back and you say, because women know we're attractive, successful men. We're doing, and so they have
women are drawn to power,
right?
Any woman, and that's natural.
And so
but you have to make sure she don't want you just for the power,
right? But when they come in, because listening to Diddy, I can only imagine Diddy sitting there like, and Cassie's on standing, and it's like, this is the girl who was telling me to come freak on her. She was telling me to come pee in her mouth,
and then flipped it.
So it's like, at what point, and then she's up there saying, I lost all autonomy. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just moving on his behalf. But at one point, is it coercion and then, or versus you lied about what you're into?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
that has to be
It's
considered.
a fine line.
Yeah,
it's a very
like,
fine line. But
you
here's
misrepresent what you're into to get next to me and then say I
true
coerced
that.
you.
True that. But here's the overall message. Here's the overall message, Loon. As black men, we need to, in order to survive America, you're going to have to be sexually disciplined. You follow what I'm saying? There is no more one night stands.
Right.
Not if you got something to lose.
I done turned all that off.
You follow what I'm saying?
Freakish.
You can't.
It's over.
There is no one night stands. There is no wham bam thank you ma'ams.
Right.
Anytime you allow a woman into your personal space, you have just empowered her to disgrace your name
and destroy
true or false. You understand? You see that? That's where we are. But I'm going to look at it from a positive thing. Not that this is good, but what it says to me is you were not sent here by the Most High to exploit the vaginas of women. The black woman's vagina is a sacred space. That is the canal from which God sends new life. You are to protect it, you are to honor it, you are to reverence it, and you must respect it. The message in this Sean Combs thing, the message in all of this, Shannon Sharp, get your sex life in alignment with your spiritual life. And get your spiritual life in alignment with the Almighty.
Yes.
Yes, you're being brought down illegally, falsely, and unjustifiably. That's part true. But now let's look at divine justice. Shannon Sharp is innocent of criminal justice. I believe Puffy Combs is innocent of criminal justice. I think they're both guilty of divine justice. You are not supposed to be sexually exploiting women for your personal pleasure.
That's a fact.
Get your life in order.
That's a fact.
That's what it's telling me.
That's a fact.
You cannot use the black woman
That's a
as
fact.
a plaything.
That's a
Not
fact.
only that, you're not supposed to use any woman as a plaything.
That's a fact.
This is a message from our ancestors saying we're not happy with the way y'all been treating our daughters. Do them right or leave them the hell alone.
That is a powerful, profound point.
Yes,
Because
sir.
That to me makes so much sense.
Yes, sir.
Like you say, man. Like you say, the universe is still speaking.
The universe is still
Yeah,
speaking.
It's like, yo, man, you've been
The universe, and in African culture, we have a saying. I embrace the positive and negative aspects of everything I experience in life because the good and the bad collaborate
Yes.
in helping me achieve my destiny.
Yes.
So in African culture, we believe you go through good and through bad.
Right.
You can't have one without the other because it's the only way we birth your destiny. So even though they're criminally innocent, both men are spiritually guilty.
And then you got to pay for that.
You got to pay for it.
Now,
Karma ain't nothing to play with.
Yeah, man. With Diddy's trial, so in your opinion, they are not proving the allegations of the charges presented.
Not yet. Now, some people are saying that the prosecution is slow walking this thing. Some people are saying that the prosecution is starting out with Cassie and the freak-offs to disparage his character first. Establish that he's a creep. And then we're going to hit him with the evidence of RICO and interstate
What about
prostitution and sex
What
trafficking.
about RICO? This is what I'm saying. It's all blurry, man, because
It's all I don't think they have
using his
much.
assistant. He's using his bodyguards. This is what rich men do.
That's what rich men do.
I move around with my
That's what-
bodyguard. Before
but I'ma
I
tell
go,
you,
they
but
do
I'm
set the
going to
room
tell
up.
you something. I don't think Puff used his organization as much as they would have liked him to.
Right.
Do you follow what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
From what I'm seeing,
Yes.
it was him
Yes.
and his freak-off mates.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
He wasn't using the secretary. And you follow
Yes.
what I'm saying? It was a select team,
Yeah.
which I think is going to save him. He didn't use the whole bad boy to do this because a lot of this happened off bad boy time. Let's go back. The reason why they're having such a hard time proving his case is he got locked up on frivolous reasons in the first place. Puffy is going through this because he sued Diageo. Puffy sued
I remember
Diageo
you
Liquor.
said that
He
on
started
last
his
time.
own political party, and they needed to make sure that he couldn't influence the 2024 election, and so he had to be in jail. Puffy had to be taken off the streets during election season because he started that black party, and neither Democrats or Republicans knew where he stood, and they couldn't afford to let him influence the outcome. And they had to pay him back for suing Diageo. So he wasn't locked up for this anyway. These charges were fabricated to make the case stick.
What about Kid Cudi testifying?
What did he say?
He said he had testified to Diddy blowing his car up. He said he came home one day and his dog was in the bathroom. Some kind of way Diddy got in his house, locked his dog in the bathroom. According to Kid Cudi, fed him some kind of additive that killed his dog later. Not then, but he said after
gradually.
Gradually killed his dog and moved the cameras around. And there was this big back and forth with him and Cassie. But my thing is, on one end, they paint Diddy, and of course, we don't defend Diddy. We're dealing with the information.
Yes.
One end, they say Diddy's this violent guy who's willing to kill about Cassie and kill everything about, harboring whatever is going on. And then on the other end, she runs off with Kid Cudi, and the car blows up, allegedly, according to them, and he does that. So what they're basically saying is, Kid Cudi said he asked Diddy about his car. He said he wanted to wait till he got in his face. And he said Diddy was standing there like a Blade or something, a black supervillain. He said this in court. Said when he got up on him and he shook his hand, he said, "Man, what about my car?"
Mm-hmm.
And Diddy said, "I don't know what you're talking about, Playboy." And that was the end of the interaction. But basically, Kid Cudi and Diddy had a checkered past due to his involvement with Cassie, but Kid Cudi, in his words, was scared of Diddy. Diddy had him terrified and would hurt people. So a lot of people in our culture,
understandable, but how do you prove it was Diddy?
It was
who poisoned
hearsay.
your dog?
I didn't even understand how it was allowed on the stand when it was all hearsay.
Because they don't have nothing. They don't have nothing.
They let him get up there and basically say, "I was told that Diddy blew the car."
Yeah.
No one was charged. No one knew.
No evidence.
And it's on a federal trial.
No police investigation.
And on a federal trial.
I don't think they have nothing, brother. I don't think they have nothing. I believe that this was punishment. And what do? Is they like to exhaust your wealth. They know how much you make because we ain't got no black banks, right?
Right.
They exhaust your wealth, or not many black banks. They exhaust your wealth enough to break you.
Do you think that they're coming for his fortune?
Of course.
And that's why they want to tie in the bad boy shit and the like you dealing with.
I wonder how much his lawyers are making per hour.
They knocking dust from him.
Do you feel me?
Yeah, they knocking
dust. And what percentage of his estate is being drained by this case? You see them? Don't get me wrong. You know what I think they want to do? They want to liquidate his assets to the point where they have to force him to sell his masters and his publishing. Same thing they try to do with Michael Jackson.
Do you think they're going to try to come get it? Because if they allege that you use bad boy
you're
records,
saying that your masters and your publishing
come with us with
was
this
earned as part of your RICO, which means they automatically fall under government control.
Yeah, you forfeit.
And we can sell them at auction to any. Ooh.
This is what I think they're trying to do because it feels like y'all tying in the organization.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's like, what is that? When he was doing a freak off,
would force him
forfeit
to give up all
of
his masters and his
bad boy, all of that shit. His whole
the liquor
fortune.
Company,
everything. And so even if we get 2 years out of him, 3 years, we still get all of that with the conviction.
It don't matter how much time.
That's what I'm saying.
We could give him a day because if we able to take his assets,
we win.
We win.
Yeah.
He can go home now.
That's what I'm saying.
You see what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Time already served.
That's what I'm saying.
But even with that, Loon, that's dangerous for other black men.
Yes.
Do you feel me?
Yes.
All we have to do, and this is why black people need to stop trying to throw Puffy under the bus. This is not about Puffy. It's about us. What do we know about the slave plantation? When they whipped the slave in front of the others, it was never about the slave. It's about the rest of y'all. If you let them convict Puff on RICO with the scantiest of evidence and allow them to take this man whole estate, publishing and masters, they can do that to anybody they feel
I'm
like.
almost certain they're coming for that. I'm almost certain.
It makes sense because look at why they killed Michael Jackson. Because he wouldn't give up the publishing, the masters, the Beatles and Elvis. He didn't want to give up his cut.
And he was trying to buy more.
Yes,
he was aggressively pursuing.
And they hit him with the child molestation when he tried to buy Marvel Comics. Imagine if Michael Jackson would have executive produced Black Panther.
Oh, man. Next level.
Mike was a
Next
gangster.
level.
One thing about Mike and Prince, man, is so interesting because they were somewhat effeminate in their public presentation. They were gangsters in the business room, bro.
Yeah.
There's no rapper more gangster than Michael Jackson when it came to business.
Period.
There's no rapper more gangster than Prince when it come to business, bro. They was gangster.
I remember, and it was back when we have technology
Yes.
to even enforce any move.
No internet or nothing.
So you had to go through
Remember
them.
when Eminem disrespected Michael Jackson over the allegations of sex abuse?
Yes.
I believe that's
Yes,
what it
I
was.
remember that.
Mike went and bought his publishing. Michael Jackson went and bought Eminem's publishing. Bro.
That's deep. That's deep.
But
deep.
But here's the problem, though. Mike and Prince should have been collaborators instead of competitors. Do you feel me?
Right.
Had they worked together, Loon, they might still be here. You can't beat white supremacy alone.
Right.
Prince was fighting solo. Mike was fighting solo. Whitney Houston fighting solo. You see that?
Yes.
You got to have a team.
Yeah.
It takes armies to defeat armies.
Yes. That's damn good, though. Wow.
Let me tell you something Puff should have done. If I'm a multi-billionaire mogul, especially if I know I'm doing some evil shit, Bad Boy is what? 20 years old, going on? You know the first thing Puff should have done? He should have found the 10 smartest kids in Harlem and paid for all of them to go to law school with a contract that when you graduate, you work for Bad Boy.
Yeah. See, we got to start
You
being
feel me?
strategic like
Yeah,
that.
we don't think
Yeah,
right
we
with the
be
money.
bullshit, man.
And the reason why does the problem with us alone, black men in particular, black women too, but especially us, our egos have been so destroyed and castrated. We have the most bruised ego in America.
Yes.
And because of that, we're constantly seeking validation.
Yes.
Why do we date white women? Validation. Why do we go to the PWI over the HBCU? Validation. Why do we move into the white suburb instead of staying in the ghetto where you ain't have to pay half the property tax? Validation. Why do we have to wear the most expensive clothes that they make? Validation. Why do black people own more Mercedes than whites? We own more Mercedes than whites. Make less and you ain't got a third of the wealth. Validation. So until the black man conquers his need for external validation, our egos will always be used against us.
I fight against mine because it's there.
You have to.
Yeah, I have to fight it. Like, like I was just telling him, I have to be an example now because I'm moving out past towards the watermark.
And you have to start thinking about legacy.
Yes. And so for me, it's like a lot of the friends that I have and a lot of the people that I know in our culture, they kind of get stuck at an age. And it's like a 20-something-year-old age in their dressing, in their approach to life, in just everything. And I want to start to wear suits and I want to go casual and start to like be intentional with my presentation.
Understood.
You know what I'm saying? And I want that to be loud and want young people to know like
more mature.
Yeah, let's go more mature with this thing, man. So because sometimes I'm in these settings and I ain't handled like the CEO that I truly am, and I'm trying to figure out
because your presentation can cause hesitation. The wrong presentation can cause hesitation.
Sometimes I'll be in a room, I'm like, yo, you do know I'm CEO of a company signed with iHeart, one of the biggest companies, one of the biggest platforms in the world. Like, you do understand that, right?
The wrong presentation can cause hesitation
because of the presentation.
Yes.
And that's on me for the most part, because I do want to.
Because remember, this society values image over integrity.
Right.
You understand me?
Yes.
You could have the most integrity in the room, but I'm the one who looks like I do.
Right.
You see that?
Yes.
We are a sensory-driven society.
Yes.
What's inside you, we don't even care.
Right.
It's all about how you present it.
Yes. I want to ask you about this too. Digital segregation by crowdfunding.
Okay.
I was doing some research because there was a conversation happening online. To me, it was very alarming. It was in reference to Rodney Hilton Jr., which is the grieving black father whose son Ryan was shot dead.
They
by
shut down
police.
his crowdfunding, did they not?
Yes, they did. Rodney saw that body cam footage and snapped tragically running over Deputy Larry Henderson. The immediate public response was outrage. Every crowdfunding page trying to raise Rodney's defense money got immediately shut down. He barely reached $7,000 before the platform removed everything under pressure from law enforcement. But watch this. Luigi Maloney, which is...
I remember.
Right. That's a white former employee
that
of
was
United
accused
Healthcare.
of assassinating the U.S. healthcare CEO.
Gunned down the company CEO in broad daylight, and all his GoFundMe-type campaigns soared to over $1 million. He even has merchandise with his face on it and is selling online. And if that's not enough, the white woman also was
Shiloh
on camera,
Hendrix.
screaming at the 7-year-old black boy on the playground. Right. She made $1 million in GoFundMe. I want to speak to the digital segregation that happens in crowdfunding. And where did it start? Because I also hear this term floating around of black fatigue. I don't know if you've heard that lately, where white people are starting to say we're tired of hearing black people complain and kind of outline and point out some of the things that they've been through.
Clarifying, okay, the black fatigue. Is white people being fatigued about black complaints, or is it black people being fatigued from dealing with racism? I don't know. I'm asking.
My understanding is white people are using the term black fatigue as to say we're tired of
so
you
is white
complaining.
People suffering black fatigue?
Yes, we're tired.
I didn't know that. I thought it was the other way.
No. We're tired of you complaining about, we ain't getting
right.
And so I want to kind of speak to all of that. And we can take it however you want, step by step.
Okay. I'm going to go with the fatigue on both definitions. You feel me?
Yes.
First of all, 3 primary rules of racism. All white people are racist, and they do not share power with black people. They do not share what? Power. Crowdfunding is a form of what? Economic empowerment. How dare you, Negroes? Whether Karmelo Anthony was right or wrong don't matter to them. Whether Rodney Hinton was right or wrong don't matter to them. Why do you think you can come to white people and use our platform to empower yourself? The Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy, Loon, we was a GoFundMe platform. They shut us down.
Oh, they sure did.
Without a reason. Why?
They sure did.
Because I am not going to help you build some independent black school that you're going to use to liberate and emancipate black minds so they can compete with us for power over this society. Are you crazy? The question, Loon, isn't whether or not there is crowdfunding discrimination. Of course it is. But you know what the bigger question is? After 400 years, after 406 years, why are you still expecting white people to help you empower yourself against them? Equality is a sin. Equality is a sin. Equality eliminates white privilege. America is built on white privilege, so I'm not surprised at all. And I want to say this. For the people who felt like Rodney Hinton was wrong in running over the quote-unquote innocent officer. Some people, Negroes included, are saying this would have only been justice if Rodney Hinton would have unalived the officer,
the exact person
who unalived his son. I completely disagree.
Me too.
You know why? Rodney Hinton was not at war with a single officer. Rodney Hinton was at war with a corrupt police system. His son was not alived by a single officer. It might have been a single officer that fired the kill shot. His son was unalived by a corrupt police department with a history of murdering black people without accountability. So we are fighting institutions and systems, not individuals.
Right. And also, what I find interesting is America gets this amnesia that if you strike one eyes. I've heard America come out and say somebody else gonna raise your children for doing what you done. So they are
look at what they
aggressively
did as a
push back.
result of the fabricated accusations of 9/11.
That's what I'm saying.
They went, when America bombs, America never targets the military. They target civilians.
Ain't that crazy?
Do you know how much blood is on the hands of America for murdering innocent women and children in other countries? And you got the audacity to say that he should have found the exact officer? I'm not happy about the loss of life. And if the man was a half-decent person, condolences to the family.
Right.
But we not fighting individuals.
Exactly.
We are fighting systems. And here's the thing. It don't matter what cop would have chased his son. He was going to get shot because that's their policy in dealing with black men. So he was not wrong in what he did.
Right.
And I'll tell you this. With Rodney Hinton, with Karmelo Anthony, they have shifted the conversation. Their courage has shifted the conversation. What do I mean? A black father takes it upon himself to unalive an officer after having his son unalived. We're not used to that.
Right.
A young black boy takes it upon himself to defend his life from two racist twins who are trying to brutalize him. We're not used to that. And the reason we're not used to that, Loon, is for 406 years, white America has always had absolute jurisdiction over the black body. You see this sometimes. When you out and about living your life, sometimes you have to tell white people, I need you to back up.
Back up.
I need you to get off my porch.
Yeah.
I need you to take your hands off my child. White people don't have boundaries with us because for the first 246 years of this 406, they owned us. So we have to reestablish safe space with them. Rodney Hinton did that. Karmelo Anthony did that. And guess what? Just like with Emmett Till, just like with Malcolm, just like with any of our martyrs, not to put them on that level, but yet and still, it's the same type of a situation. Now when white kids go to bully a black child, you better think twice.
Yeah.
Now when a police officer in Cincinnati goes to unalive a black kid, you sure he ain't got no father?
Right.
Because Rodney Hinton just put a new idea into the universe on how to deal with police brutality. And as much as people want to denigrate it, all behavior, I'm a psychologist, we're trained this, Loon. All behavior is a function of its consequences. Everything. How do you train your dog? Consequences.
Yes.
How do you train your employees? Consequences. Rodney Hinton just showed you. You want the police to stop killing your children? Until they feel pain, you will never stop feeling pain.
And you've always said that at some point blood may have to be shed.
Let me ask you a question. What have we ever gotten in American society that we did not bleed for?
Right.
We bled for freedom. We bled for the Civil Rights Act. We bled for the Civil Rights Bill. We bled in Black Power.
Everything else is an illusion.
Everything else is an illusion.
It comes with blood on it.
So they
Everything.
say no. They say no. Congress passed the 13th Amendment.
Yeah.
That was celebratory and symbolic.
Yeah.
We had already bled.
Right.
That's just them trying to reassert their control over the narrative. Abraham Lincoln didn't free us. We freed him. Read. The white generals in the Civil War said if it wasn't for the Negro, America be two countries today, a union and confederacy. And if we could redo history, Loon, one of the things I wish we would have redone, when Robert E. Lee surrendered to Ulysses S. Grant at the Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia, I think that was April 4th, 1865, right? I wish black men would have said, you know what? If we can beat the Confederacy for Abraham Lincoln, maybe, just maybe, we can beat Abraham Lincoln too. Loon, what if we would have said, you know what? We not done.
Yeah.
We took the South.
Going a little further.
Let's take the North.
Yeah.
Imagine if we would have done it.
Yeah.
I don't know if we would have won or not, but history was on our side.
Yeah.
If we can shut down the southern states, why couldn't we shut down the South?
Right.
Sometimes, brother, we don't believe in ourselves enough. You feel me? Sometimes we don't believe in ourselves enough.
But it's crazy because they'll on one end say how dysfunctional we are and how disillusioned we are, and then they won't point to the facts that, but we had to go in there and fight that fight that y'all didn't have the ability to fight. We had to get in there and wrestle it down.
We the reason America. Not just with the Civil War, brother. Let's go before the Civil War. Let's go to the Louisiana Purchase. Do you know that this country is 3 times the size it was? Because the Haitian Revolution went to Saint-La Overture and Jean-Jacques Dessalines and Christophe and Pétion and Cecil Fatiman and Boukman and Macandal when they destroyed Napoleon's army, a slave army defeated the greatest general the white man ever had. Right, yeah. An army of slaves defeated the greatest general the white man ever had. And because the Haitian Revolution bankrupted Napoleon, he sold his American territories to America for pennies on the dollar.
I remember that.
The Louisiana Purchase Loon quadrupled the size of the United States of America. So when I tell you America wouldn't be America without black people, America wouldn't be America without black people.
That's a fact. Now back to the crowdfunding thing. Who started, in your opinion, where did this start as it pertains to as it pertains to what could be considered as a heinous act takes place? Then the racist or the people on one side or another throws their financial might behind something to try to take a stand.
I think it was Michael Brown and Ferguson.
Or Zimmerman.
Was there crowdfunding for Zimmerman?
I believe, yeah.
It might have been Zimmerman.
I think that's where it started. I'm almost certain it was, but Mike Brown.
It could have been Zimmerman.
Was that wave
Mike Brown popularized it because with the Mike Brown case, you had an officer who unalived an unarmed child, and they left his body in the street for hours. Yeah. And the evidence in the Michael Brown case, because there were witnesses. Remember with Trayvon, I don't think we had any witness.
No.
Michael Brown, you had witness. So it was obvious that this was an execution.
Yes.
And so when black people saw white people rush to the defense of the white officer with obvious evidence and eyewitness testimony that he unalived that young man unnecessarily, that's when crowdfunding really became what it became. And I think crowdfunding helped black people to see how racist white people are.
It's like the American racial identity crept right into crowdfunding.
And do you know why? It's the same thing with social media or Twitter.
Or voting and all of it. It's really everywhere, but it's just overt in the money.
Because why? I'm able to be racist, but you don't necessarily see who I am. Yeah. Do you feel me? When I go into the booth to vote against reparations, I can be racist, but you don't know how I voted. When I donate $1,000 to these police killers, I can be racist, but you never see my face. Whenever white people are able to manifest, when white people are able to manifest their racism and not be seen, you really see who they are.
Yeah, because it's clearly...
Look at Shiloh Hendrix. She caught a 5-year-old disabled child the N-word for going in a bag. White kids go in bags too. You feel me? It was an innocent kid. He don't know nothing about no thief. He had autism. And guess what? White folks said what? We don't care. And if it's one thing black people need to understand, Loon, and I think it's one of the benefits of the Trump administration, although I don't support him or his administration.
Right.
Donald Trump is making it popular to be publicly racist again. You feel me?
It feel like
he making it popular. He said we gonna take Harriet Tubman off the website.
Man, they doing some shit, man.
Bro.
They doing some shit.
We gonna take Medgar Evers off the National Military Cemetery website. We're going to go into the Smithsonian National African American Museum, and anything in there that shows how brutally racist America was to blacks, we taking it out. All the Civil War statues that y'all took down back in the 2015 Charleston killing of Dylann Roof when he murdered the Charleston Nine, we putting them statues back up. South African refugees, if you don't like the fact that the blacks in South Africa taking the land that your ancestors stole from them, you can come over and be a refugee. Donald Trump has made it safe to be a bigot. Did you see the executive order he signed on the police?
What the
Donald Trump
immunity? Was it the immunity?
It's not. The word immunity is it's called unleashing America's law and for unleashing. He's basically saying,
go get active.
You can basically what he's saying. You can kill blacks, and you do not have to worry about being held accountable. But with that being said, though, Loon, as a historian, a part of me is saying we got to embrace this. Now, some black people gonna say, what the hell Dr. Umar talking about embrace how we being dehumanized and push? You know why you got to embrace it? Because it is these types of conditions. Do you feel me, Loon?
Creates the atmosphere.
Thank you. Yeah. What did I say earlier? Everything in the universe is created from positive and negative force. You see that? We fought against slavery because we had no choice. We fought for civil rights. We had no choice. The racism became so intense that we got to a point, Loon, when we said, you know what? We might die anyway. So we might as well stand up and fight. That's what's happening right now. America is eliminating all the conveniences it has given to black people in this society. And we're now getting to a point, Loon, where it's like, what am I living for? And when people get desperate, they become courageous. This is exactly the type of atmosphere you need. It is this that gave birth to a Marcus Garvey. It is this that gave birth to a Frederick Douglass. It is this that gave birth to a Huey Newton. It is this that gave birth to a H. Rap Brown. It is this that gave birth to the Freedom Riders and the sit-in movements. You understand me?
Yes.
So this is exactly what you need for black people to get up off their ass and struggle. What did Frederick Douglass say? If there is no struggle, there is no progress.
Do you think, what's your feelings on him rolling back the DEI stuff?
It didn't benefit us at all.
DEI never benefited black people.
4% of DEI hires were black. 4%. So my question to you, homosexuals, white women, non-black immigrants. Do you feel me?
Yes.
Physically handicapped, non-blacks.
Right.
Remember, minority is everything except white male.
Wow.
Do you see that?
All inclusive.
Let me give you an example. Much respect to Pastor Jamal Bryant. Much respect to Reverend Al Sharpton. As you know, they had a boycott of Target.
Yes.
Nothing was wrong with that because Target needed to know you don't mistreat black people, still get our money.
Right.
And as a result of that boycott, Target has lost hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
They on life
I
preserver.
had the stat. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the reactionary intervention by Pastor Bryant and Reverend Sharpton, I support it. Target need to be taught a lesson. My constructive criticism, because I respect them, my constructive criticism for both gentlemen, you gave us the reactionary. That's the boycott. But now you got to do something pro-actionary that benefits black people.
Yes.
Where is that?
Right.
Taking our people from Target to Costco is not a win because you're taking them from Target who exploited their black dollar and you now give them to another corporation that's going to exploit their black dollar, right?
Yes, yes.
What they should have done, and this is why black leadership gets criticized. What they should have done with their influence is they should have created a mega mart for the black community. Al Sharpton has the following. Pastor Jamal Bryant has the following.
Right.
Why not come together and give our people a black alternative?
Right.
Why are we leaving our people choosing between two white alternatives, neither of which really gives a damn? So we broke Target. No problem. I stand with you. But now we're going to go and enrich Costco? What are they doing so great that they deserve the black dollar? Not much at all.
Right.
Where is the black alternative? And this is why, Loon, people criticize black leadership because we're always good on the boycotting. We're always good on the protesting. We're always good on the embargoes. But when it comes time to take that energy and turn it into something constructive and progressive for black people, you never see any solutions. I give you another one. After every police unaliving of a defenseless black person, we had a what? Riot.
Yes.
We tore down the institutions that supported police genocide, right?
Yes.
That's good. But after we tore down them institutions, did we come back into our community and build anything for the people? Pastor Bryant and Reverend Sharpton need to build something for the people and not just redirect our dollar from one white corporation to the next. I like what they did, but that was reactionary. Necessary,
right?
But it was reactionary. Where are the proactive solutions? Institutions are half of the solution.
Boy, you cooking today. That's a damn good point, because that's exactly what happened. Speaking of him, Trump taking some of these statues down, I've also seen a statue of a black woman. They said popped
in
up
Times
Square.
I saw the statue. Some people think it's harmless. I don't. And I'm going to tell you why. Symbolic artwork is usually focused on representing the best of a people. Are you following me? If we had a museum with multiple pieces of black art that was on display, then that statue won't be a problem. You want to know why? It's one of many pieces.
Right.
But for you to put what I believe is the first ever statue of a black woman in Times Square, why wasn't it of a black female celebrity? Why wasn't it of a black woman caring for her children? Why wasn't it a black woman with her king supporting her?
Right.
Why wasn't it of a black inventor, female? We have many. Right. Why wasn't it of a black doctor, black engineer, black business owner? Why was it of a single black woman? Was her hand on her hips?
I don't even remember.
Single black woman. Look it up real quick. See if the hand, look up that picture. Was the hands on the hips? She was not professionally dressed. She was extremely casual, slightly overweight, braids in her hair, definitely didn't look like somebody on their way to work, definitely didn't look like somebody on their way to operate their own business. Man. Was her hands on the hips?
Yeah.
Do you see what does that mean when a black woman's hands is on her hips? Stereotypically, that's the sassy mama look. That's the independent. I'm on welfare. I don't have a husband. I might have multiple kids. Complaining, whining, masculine. That was an insult to black female integrity and dignity. That did not represent the great divine feminine at all. That was an insult, my brother. That was an insult. You have too many black women doing too many great things. Let me give you an example, Loon, of why I consider that an insult. Black women are the most educated population in America, right? The most educated. Why not at least put a book bag on her back? Black women are the most educated population in America. Keep the same outfit, put a book bag on her back. Do you know what you're saying now, Loon? She's a student.
Yes.
She might only be 20.
Yes.
She might only be 21.
Yes.
She might not have a job, which is cool, but she's on her way. Why not put a book bag to show black women are the most educated group? I want to show a single, quote unquote, independent black woman who can't find a man or a job. That's what I want to show. That was an insult. Art is supposed to represent the greatness of a people.
Goodness.
The greatness of a people. Like I said, Loon, if it was multiple pieces, it would have been okay. That's one statue, standalone in Times Square, a business district. You put that in the wealthiest business district on the planet Earth. You put a statue of an unemployed black woman, and I'm not supposed to say nothing about it. First of all, do we know who put that up there?
No.
Was that the city? Was that a donation? Was that a local university? Because I want to know under what premise.
Right.
Is it temporary? Is it permanent?
Yeah, what is it? That's what I didn't understand. Yes. That's the whole thing. It's like, what's
your purpose?
Yeah, what are y'all doing?
Insult.
Have been displayed in the same city where a contentious moment It doesn't say who. As the conversation intensified, criticism has emerged from several angles, from those seeking to preserve the county's historical monuments and from people wondering if the piece employed stereotypical imagery, from critics calling the message ham-fisted. But social media has been overrun with commenters, often anonymous, hurling overt racist and sexist terms. The piece, Grounded in the Stars, was produced in 2023 by Thomas J. Price, a London-based sculptor whose work in recent years has directly...
Google his name. Google his name and put London-based sculptor. Thomas Price, London-based sculptor, and see if you can, and hit images and see if you see his face. And the reason I'm asking you to see what race he was, most of the statues in this country, Loon, of great black heroes are made by non-black artists. They do not let our people create and craft our own heroes. I want to know if he was white or black.
It's not showing, but here's some more.
If you hit image, does his face come up?
Nah, they're showing more of the, I guess these are more
Of his works.
Yeah.
I wonder what he is. Either way, it was unacceptable.
Is this him?
He's black.
He is black.
He is black.
Okay, he's black.
I think that's him right here.
Let me see him.
I think that's him.
Okay. I'm not going to knock him per se. It looks like he has several works.
Right, yeah.
My question is, why did they choose that one?
That one, yeah. That's still a thing. Like, it's
You see-
still
yeah,
a thing.
It's still a thing.
It don't
It's
care,
still-
like,
yeah.
respect to him and his creativity.
Yeah, that was-
But they
the wealthy-
oftentimes use us and missteps we may have made or misrepresentations that they can now redefine, right? And use that against us and say, well, no, he made it.
Absolutely.
We didn't do it. Y'all
And you
made
know
it.
why? Symbols rule the world, brother. Every memory in your head is a symbol.
Yes.
Your brain don't store information
Any
in
other
sentences.
way. Yeah.
It's symbols.
Yes.
White Jesus, symbol. Look at that symbol. Yeah. What is that telling black girls when they see that?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Look at all the black female entrepreneurs we have. You couldn't have put them up there? You know how many... Do you realize how many different representations of black women I can brainstorm right now? And that's what you give me in the wealthiest business district on the planet. That's an insult.
Yeah, definitely. Let me use the restroom. You good?
Sure. Do me a favor, Sanchez. Pass me that bottle of water sticking out there. The Grounded in the Stars art installation in Times Square was funded. About to read that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, he did like an interview when he put the statue up.
Okay.
Like explaining what it's
And
about.
also,
And
Okay.
there's the thing next to it. And usually, don't the statue got
That tell you something.
Yeah, like
It
what
might
y'all
be. It
doing?
might be on the ground, but put that in the park. White people pay for this. New York City Department of Cultural Affairs.
And then
I ain't
choosing the black artist, like that was on purpose.
That was the protection.
Yeah.
Y'all can't say nothing because y'all did it.
Seeing that, I'm like,
One thing about the Caucasian brother, they have always been consistent. Do you feel me? They have always been. The one thing we can't take from them, consistency. That's why we have no excuses, because they've never misrepresented who they are. Never in 400 years.
That's him right there who did it. He don't look too.
He look like he could be mixed race.
he's kind of like light skinned.
Yeah, he look like he could be mixed race. Or even A-Rap. Because the brother who played Bob Marley in One Love, I thought he was a brother. Nah, he A-Rap. The brother who played Bob Marley.
How you look like Bob?
I thought, yeah, he do. I thought he was a brother. They was like, nah, dog, he A-Rap.
A-Rab is, I mean, a little brown in there.
It is, but it ain't African.
Yeah,
You know, they don't like us. They don't like us.
man. The old light skinned nigga.
He might be mixed race.
Yeah, he definitely got a little something going on.
Insulting you in plain view.
Man.
Insulting you in plain view. And that's the best way to insult you.
Yeah. Especially because then you have Negroes arguing about it. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, bro, think about it.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah. And for a lot of black women, what did I say earlier? Because we have the most bruised egos in American history, we're constantly seeking validation. Some black people, so overcome with joy, that they can be seen in Times Square
Don't matter how they sing.
will completely ignore the racial symbolism in that statue right there.
Yeah.
Times Square.
Wow.
I'm gonna tell you this: where they put it is more important than what they put. You understand me? The fact that it's in Times Square means more than the statue itself. Because if that same statue was outside of a public school, park, water fountain, the wealthiest business district in America, we're going to put a statue that suggests this woman is unemployed. Otherwise, why she dressed like that in Times Square?
Do you think that the guy who made it, Thomas, had any?
I don't think he had any ill intent. I think he was.
Think he had any power to depict what statue he wanted to pick, or did they find a statue that represented that agenda and then reverse engineer the person? They
probably asked him, but I think he was so happy to be paid.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll
go back to that sellout thing.
Yeah, we'll do it for money. We'll do it for money.
Yeah, how much you got for that?
We'll do it for money.
Opportunity, and it's some stab pattern.
We had this same conversation when we talked about Deion Sanders.
We finna get to him right now. That's what's funny. Yeah.
When I said, listen, I believe that the American white power structure needed to get Deion Sanders out of Jackson State because they knew the Supreme Court was going to strike down affirmative action in college, which puts black colleges in hot water for giving black students preference in admissions over non-black students. And if Deion was still at Jackson, he may have been forced by the black community to speak up and speak out on behalf of the legacy of the HBCU. So they got the University of Colorado to give him an offer he couldn't refuse to get him up out of there, and he took it.
Yes.
Which to me was an act of political betrayal. It's in the past now, right? But the point that I'm making is they know that most of us can be bought.
Right.
We always have.
And we'll go.
Yeah. Because we have no loyalty to race. Remember, they took out race and gave us religion. See, remember, black people never had a period of healing and reclamation, Loon. So when slavery ended, they didn't say, here's a university you're going to go to for 1 year, and you're going to be reminded of who you were before we took you to Africa. You feel me? This was how you ate. This is how you got married. This is how you solved your problems. This is how you raised your children. This is how you worshiped your God. We didn't. The only thing they had waiting for us after slavery was that Bible and that Quran. And so religion became everything to black people because we had no culture. See, in most people, they have culture, they have religion, and they influence each other.
Yes.
You see that? Yes. They influence each other. Yes. And in most cases, culture takes precedence. You will rarely go anywhere in the world. Arabs, Chinese, East Indians. Very rarely will you see somebody eliminate an aspect of culture because it disagrees with what the religion. They will modify the religion to support the culture. We have forgotten our culture. And so we overemphasize religion to make up for that fact. In other words, our religion, viewed from a certain perspective, has actually been one of our biggest problems because we don't know how to put it to the side and use the active intelligence of our own minds to solve our problems. Right. We often fall into
wishful thinking,
a religious falsification of African consciousness, if you will, and we got to get out of that.
Yeah, I want to spend some time on Deion. I think we had a very explosive debate about Deion when he did leave the HBCU, and we did it at a HBCU. And before we get to Deion, let's address Candace Owens. Last time you were here, you put a challenge out for Candace Owens. I wanted
not a challenge, but I'm willing to debate her if she's willing.
Not a challenge, yeah, not a challenge, but
I don't really have to debate her or not.
Yeah, it ain't a challenge. Put it
out there, and I said, if it presents itself, I'll do it.
Right, because and I want to. That's why I want to speak about it, because it wasn't a challenge from Umar.
Right.
It was something that I wanted to see happen.
Yes.
Two brilliant people in their own perspective,
and it wasn't the first time that had been brought to me.
Right, and so for me, knowing that Candace was in Nashville, I said, "Yo, it should be an easy thing. We're doing this at a HBCU. It's iHeartMedia. This should be a slam dunk." And they went dark. And so I don't know what is there a beef between you and Candace? Is there something you don't know that's going on?
It may be something I don't know.
Because I'm wondering. Like,
I mean, the only thing I said, and this is recent. This is way after our conversation.
Right.
But the only thing that I definitely said that on my Mount Rushmore of coons, she would have one of them spaces.
Right.
Okay, I might have even said that in our conversation because I don't think she's an advocate of the black community. I think
but
she
she
looks
acts like she invites these conversations. The same way you do. You stand on your square.
Right.
I invite whoever. Your Candace Owens, your Marc Lamont, your Piers Morgan. Come correct when you come. But I ain't worried about you coming. Right?
I see what you're saying.
And so my thing is like black-owned platform, majorly signed with iHeart, trying to do it in front of an HBCU. I was trying to, like we would be doing. I was trying to bring Umar, Candace Owens in front of an HBCU and have a conversation.
Maybe it's the venue.
She don't want HBCU?
I own the college campus. You feel? I'm just being real. I own the college campus.
I was really amazed by this, bro. Like, I'm like, it's no way that bro, it literally had me took.
You know what it could be?
I'm talking about I DM'd it, she seen it.
I see what you're saying. But I'm gonna tell you this. It could be something really simple. It may have nothing to do with intimidation or fear at all. You know what it could be? Because I think it's the case with Shannon Sharp. I think the case is that we have to have the Snow Bunny conversation. Candace Owens is married to a Caucasian male. You see what I'm saying?
Now, is the Snow Bunny conversation on the table? But what
it got to be on the table.
What about the daughter conversation?
It's two different things. Because I'm not talking about what her husband does or his character. You understand?
Yes.
Just like with RG3 and Ryan Clark. Ryan ain't discussing nothing about your wife, who she is. No. The fact you married outside the community.
Yes.
It's nothing personal against him. You understand?
Yes.
Nothing personal against your beautiful baby. You understand?
Yes.
You went outside the community for your mate, and I got to ask you why, and I'm going to have some follow-up questions. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's just that. Because there's no way I'm sitting down with any Snow Bunny hopper
and not bring
it up.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah. And that makes sense. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm almost like I told iHeart one more time, like, see what she says. Like, I see her going Jason Lee. I see her Goldie. I'm saying, is she ducking Umar? And I say that respectfully. Like, I'm literally tooken back, bro. Like, I'm tooken back. I took Candace to be a scholar. Like, I took her to be someone that could defend her talking points, address any issue.
And she is intelligent.
Yeah, so for me, I'm saying something is...
But if you standing on the wrong side of the community, for me, credentials and intelligence aside, I'm standing on the right side of the argument for the people. You feel me? And so there's a certain energy that just comes with that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I want this to happen. The fans they was tagging her. It was going crazy.
Oh, so you posted it publicly?
Our last debate.
No, because you said you inboxed her. That's private.
I did it all. Like, when we actually dropped the last episode, your fans took that shit and was like, Candace.
So you saying they was hitting her?
Yeah, and then I hit her. And then I told iHeart to hit her manager. They found her manager.
And they hit him.
And then I followed her manager. And then I hit the manager. I'm like, what is this? And it's in this town.
Beef with the prince.
Bro, it doesn't require travel. It doesn't require...
I see what you're saying.
So something is...
very convenient.
Something is there, and I'm wondering what it is, but we'll revisit.
Well, I'm going to give you something else that may have nothing to do with Candace. I don't know her relationships. I don't know her sponsors. But I suspect that in her army of sponsors, there may be people who are fearful of two things. Number one, if you lose in this debate as a conservative to this revolutionary Pan-Africanist, do you dim the brand and the power of the conservative movement?
Right.
In other words, they're looking at collateral damage. And even more than that, Loon, what did we just speak of earlier? White people don't believe in empowering blacks. I have my own followership, right? Separate from hers.
Yeah.
large.
Yes.
And hers is large.
Exactly.
But if Dr. Umar definitively destroys you, do you know what we just did for what he stands for?
Right.
Because she got a lot of feminists. What if I change their mind? She got a lot of black. You feel me? They looking at collateral damage.
Yes.
And
Makes
for
sense.
that reason alone, they might say we
So
can't
you
take the
saying
chance.
that she's turned into the corporate structures, the
Oh,
same
yes!
way, like you say, MSNBC and those
Candace
people.
Owens is a part of the corporate structure. Yes, the conservative corporate structure. Absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
She is to the conservatives what Roland Martin is to the liberals.
Almost like what was the white guy name?
The black mouthpiece.
What was the white guy name that was conservative and
He was black.
white guy? He was famous for a while and kind of fell off. Bill O'Reilly, was it?
Okay, O'Reilly.
Those kind of
O'Reilly.
names,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Where it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
they're
yeah.
attached to. They seem
yeah,
like
yeah,
wild
yeah,
cards,
yeah,
but it's
yeah,
like, no,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
really attached to this thing.
Yeah, yeah.
At the hip, too.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? You prime time with this. You know, so I guess, man, we'll try to revisit.
You got to remember, they protect their mainstream personalities against unapologetic blacks. Me and Al Sharpton were supposed to be on the same program at the University of the District of Columbia. This is about 10 years ago, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, right? No, it was more than 7. I'm going to say 8, 9, or 10 years ago. Me and Al Sharpton were supposed to be on this. It wasn't a debate, but it was a conversation about the state of Black America. He had just released a book too, right? He sent his books, but he did not show up. And you know I was ready because I ain't letting back.
Man.
I'm going at you, your donors and everything.
Yeah.
You feel me?
And you
So you
want
got to
them
realize
to.
them type Negroes, they talk it.
Yeah, they duck that smoke, though.
They don't want it with
Yeah.
somebody who real because I ain't got nothing to hide.
And you also, they cannot whoop on you with the intellectual.
No, sir.
You know,
No,
at
sir.
bare minimum, we gonna be here with it. But then you got
We gonna
other
blow for
attributes.
blow.
Yeah, you got other
Blow
attributes.
for blow.
no
And I
one
live
has.
this. My whole life is this.
Yeah, bro.
You
And-
ain't getting
and
over.
You got your attributes. Is so like even with someone like a Marc Lamont, he's a scholar. He's pretty smart. He don't got the fun sway though. He don't got the.
I feel
You
you.
got this here, man. You got. I'm telling you, one of us. You
I
just
feel
went
you.
to the
I
other
feel you.
side.
I feel you. I
You know what I'm
feel you.
saying?
I
To
feel
the
you.
scholar side,
I
which
feel
we
you.
respect, but some people don't have that suave.
In the
with it.
words of Sister Cheryl from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who's the first person to bring me there, she said, when I first met you, I was surprised because I did not know that you were a North Philly, a Garveyite preacher with North Philly swag. Her exact
that's
words.
what it is.
A Garveyite preacher with North Philly swag. That's what she said.
And I love it so much. I appreciate it. My mom loves you. Like I told you, like, all these people, all the elders, bro, they love you, bro. And then the youngest love you. You see
Yeah.
you pop them on streams.
Yeah.
Like people really embrace you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Candace can be on the stream. I'm not sure that world even invites.
I
That's what
feel
I'm
you.
saying. Your range, bro. You
Yeah.
can shoot a 3, you can dunk it, you can
Right.
your range is just impeccable
To
with
glory
this
be
thing,
God.
bro.
To God be the
God
glory,
is the
man.
greatest,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir.
Dealing with, let's go back to Deion Sanders because, like I said, we had a monumental conversation about Deion leaving HBCUs. We are seeing his departure reflected in how many people were drafted, which is a direct correlation to how many eyes are on the games and how the interest.
Well, remember, they also sabotaged the draft class out of Colorado, not just Shador,
the
which
whole
I think,
draft class.
from what I saw, something that needs to be clarified.
Right.
But it said that a lot of the Colorado players went lower than they should have because the power structure of the NFL wanted to teach Deion a lesson. You're not going to convince me that Shador Sanders was
Right.
the 144th best player.
No.
You understand me?
No.
He was top 5 guaranteed.
Yes.
But they had to do that to sabotage his money loan. Because if you are top 5, you're guaranteed at least $40 million.
And,
you see
and
them?
you a career damn near. You
That's-
got 2 or 3 chances before we say that.
And
He
you
didn't
only
pay
get
it
more
out.
money.
Right.
So for them to drop that man from a $40 million payday to approximately $4 million payday, Don't get me wrong, they fine. He got NIL deals, but that was disrespectful. And the way they did it, Loon, to just keep having hanging and hanging and hanging. And you know why they did that? So that they could get the viewership. Because they knew everybody only cared about three people in that job. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, and Shedeur Sanders.
Yes.
So not only are we going to sabotage your draft day to humiliate you and your father, we're going to use you as press. And then after he got drafted, they pinned his picture in the Cleveland Browns jersey onto their website for more clicks and views. Exploited the shit out that boy Loon and then disrespected him at the same time. As I've already said, I wish they would sue the NFL. I know they not because he wants to play.
Right.
And this gets into a whole nother conversation, not about the Sanders, but about us in Black America, how we raise our children with regard to what should you value.
Right.
Because if that's my son, we sue him.
Off the table. Yeah.
If the career over, because that right there, we can't walk that off.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when your whole life is football and your whole life is basketball and not black
you just
liberation.
left the HBCU for this moment. You really, that's what we were speaking about last time, is that because our debate was, you were saying, yo, it's bigger than him. We got to break the infrastructure. I was saying,
bigger than him.
Yo, Deion doing this for his son to make sure he go pro, make sure he get in a good spot. And it ultimately didn't work out.
It didn't work out.
In the way that we intended
and
it to
just
work
like
out.
you just said, it's bigger than them. The white man said the same thing. He said the NFL is bigger than the Sanders. Yeah. And we can't let this young man walk in here with a father who's a coach at a major university, who's already popular, already got an NIL deal. If we let him walk in here and dictate what we do on this plantation, on this slave plantation that we own, if we let this slave do what he wants, tomorrow all the slaves will do what they want. That was the perfect example of a public lynching in order to reassert control over the plantation. It was wrong. I'm a Shedeur Sanders fan. I even want Deion to do well now because what's in the past is in the past. But this was a good lesson that you are always a Negro, and don't you ever forget it. Anything you are, we made you. And we'll take it back if we have to.
Do you think him?
That was a whipping.
Right. You know, we spoke about it and basically classified it as him abandoning the mission as it pertains to HBCU.
He did abandon the HBCU
because
mission.
think about if he stayed in Jackson State. Let's reverse
imagine where they would be.
Right. How many young men probably would have came that way, went pro. He had more control and it was a
But what you're
scenario.
talking about is a classic discussion that we as black men have had and will continue to have, and that is over what matters more.
Right.
Your personal success or the long-term success of your people.
And then what I guess it hurts even more when you sell it out like, all right, nah, but I got to think about my son, and then it don't even do it for your son. But it definitely would have done it for the HBCU had you stayed.
Man.
If he would have stayed in Jackson State, man, the effects would have been profound.
Brother.
You know what I'm saying?
Brother.
And your son still would have been on your hip.
Yes, sir.
But it's just, I wonder, do he think about that in the back of his brain? Like, man.
If he's politically conscious. And again, I respect Deion. I think he's one of the greatest athletes of all time. He's the only human being ever to play in a World Series and a Super Bowl. You follow me? But he's Muhammad Ali without the political consciousness and the racial loyalty. And Muhammad Ali was Deion Sanders with the political consciousness and the racial loyalty. Yeah. You know, it's the bottom line. We have a lot of celebrities who we love, but they've never been loyal to the people.
Right. Do you think his privilege, Shedeur I'm speaking about, do you think his privilege of having a famous father and coming up the way he did that interrupt his ability, or will that interrupt his ambition? Because that's what the NFL was kind of trying to lean on, or some of the coaches, like, he's already rich, he got his
Nah. You know why?
Work.
Because he wants to be one of the greatest.
Because he comes from greatness.
In fact, the fact that my father was great,
I come from greatness.
that make me even more hungry. You feel me? Because I got something to prove, not to you devils, but to my father. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that ain't got nothing to do with it. Now, we'll give you the silver lining in this. I don't know if Shedeur Sanders was racially conscious or not. He was my favorite college football player. Tremendous young man, well-spoken. I don't know how politically conscious he is. But because they did this to him, we're going to see this come back up somewhere in his life.
Right,
It might be after he retired and he a coach. Yeah. But I promise you, this right here, it ain't the end of it.
Right.
He will forever remember this.
Yeah.
You understand me? This right here, if he didn't have a racial consciousness, he got one now.
I interviewed Brandon Marshall. And it's so interesting how much these players put in the draft day, man. He thought he was going to go like number 1, 2, 3.
It's politics.
And he failed. Brandon Marshall failed. He ended up that night crashing out. Even though he went pro. He went pro.
Yeah.
But his whole family was dying there. And I think he may have went. Matter of fact, I don't want to misrepresent.
Because where you place determines that first contract.
Yeah. And so, but what was interesting is his reaction was much more different than Shador. And I think it's because the father figure is in the building, right? The father figure's his availability to his son and emotional availability has him a little more stoic, at least on the outside.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. But Brandon went up there and punched the mirror and tore shit up, and he was
at the draft.
No, he was at home with his family.
I got afterwards.
Yeah, and so it was just he was just so toe up about it, man.
But see, and much respect to Brandon Marshall, great guy, well spoken as well.
Oh my God.
You know, but once again, why are we raising our black boys to believe that sports and entertainment is the most important thing in your life?
Right.
It's okay that you want to go to the NFL or the NBA, but this should not be your priority.
Right.
We as black men should be living for other things.
It's hard to say that when you ain't got nothing. Them niggas coming from Shador's a little different. Brandon was coming from nothing. He was living in a hotel at that time with his family, so he's thinking.
But the richest people in the world are not athletes. There's ways to make your money in other ways. The richest people in America are realtors.
Right.
You understand?
Yes.
So. And look at how most athletes, they don't even retire wealthy.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They exploit you, they use you, they make you recycle your money right back to the white folks in the circle, and you're done. Yeah, this shit is a system.
Just like with rap.
This is the same shit with rap. It's the same thing.
I tell my rapper friends, because I'm high level business, like, so I tell them, like, pay attention to where they send you, right? They think everything is a convenience because the label will say, hey, we got you going to LA, we got you a mansion out there. Yo,
and all that's going on your tab.
And not only on your tab, my friend owns the mansion, so it's not costing us nothing, but it's draining your budget.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying?
In other words, I'm spending your money for you, and you don't even know it.
You don't even know it. You think and they don't know this, but I be telling them, yo, pay attention to everything.
And not only that, the
like
white girl that you dating, I sent it to you.
Exactly.
That's my cousin's cousin.
Exactly. Let me ask you about NIL, because Shador, it seems like NIL padded a little bit of the falling as it pertains to the money.
Oh, he ain't gonna have no money problem.
Who controls NIL?
His jersey is the number one jersey being sold, and he went 144.
Right. Who benefits the most from NIL?
It depends on the contract structure. I'm going to say overall, though, because we live in a capitalist system, the sponsor always benefits more than the sponsee. you
and
feel
here's something I was looking at, right? So I was
whoever he signed, they make him more money because I'm only giving you a percentage of what I'm gaining.
Right.
It doesn't benefit me to go half with you.
Right.
So
and you know what? I was looking at NIL, right? And so
Michael Jordan is a billionaire off Nike. So imagine how much money Nike has made.
They done killed it. I was looking at the NIL situation, and what it was explaining to me is this: it's some funny rules with NIL.
Give me some of the funny rules.
So the NIL situation, right? So let's just say Shador. Shador owns his likeness, quote unquote. This is a quote now. What does likeness really mean? My name? Well, I don't necessarily.
There's name and image.
I own my name and image, but you can't produce a jersey. So where you gonna put the name and image? So my research was telling me. My research was telling me that Colorado doesn't necessarily even have to give him anything on the NIL. I think they will.
They don't.
I think they will because of his jersey sales, but they don't have to. So
you don't get anything. You don't get anything off the college paraphernalia.
You don't.
That's owned by the college, and like you
said,
even
though they're selling it.
Yeah, because remember, athletes don't get nothing off their jerseys. That's team merchandise. You feel me? That's team merch. Now, some athletes might get a cut like a LeBron or something, but generally speaking, that's team merchandise.
I didn't know that. I'm thinking once they say I own my likeness is on their jersey. How
That's
do I
true.
not get a piece
So
of
then
that?
the question becomes, how did they negotiate the licensing for his brand?
Right.
If I own my name and license, that's my brand.
Right.
Colorado
And it's on the
wants to
jersey.
sell my jersey, right? So then I can license you
That's
the
what
right
I'm
to
saying.
use my name and license.
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
Now with the NIL, they might get a cut now. But historically,
Right.
before NIL, you got no money from them jerseys.
Crazy.
Yeah, historic.
That's
It might have
crazy.
changed now, but
That's
historically,
crazy.
you didn't. Did you see the Fab Five documentary? This came out
Long
almost
time
15
ago.
years.
I think I did. I can't remember.
Remember, Jalen Rose talked about how they used to silently protest against Nike exploiting them because they didn't make any money from none of that. Remember, they had the Fab Five Nikes. They had the black socks with the white. Remember that?
I remember that.
The baggy pants.
Yes.
Every child wanted the Fab Five Nikes.
Yes.
Right? They didn't even call them that, but everybody, that's
right.
the Fab
That's what
Five.
they were known as.
Because
Yes.
they wore them.
Exactly.
And he said everything Nike wanted to sell, they threw on our body. And so we would start going out there with a plain shirt to warm up. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Plain socks. We was trying
Protest.
to reduce. We
Yeah,
was trying because
yeah.
we being exploited
Right.
and we not making no dollar. The only money being made is the University of Michigan and Nike.
Right. Damn.
It might have changed with NIL. I wonder now.
That's what I'm saying.
Do they have to
my
get a
research
cut?
was saying that they don't have to. That they
It might still be the same.
that
then.
they can, that they
Team
may.
merchandise.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Because if I'm not mistaken, with colleges, football and basketball, right? When you buy their jersey at Foot Locker, official Nike merchandise, I don't think they have their names on them, just a number. Am I correct?
Nah, I got name.
You sure?
mean college?
College.
Nah, I don't think he got name.
Then they off the hook.
But it's
Because
my likeness. But they gonna say that's the team likeness.
that's the team likeness.
See, that's
because
what-
I remember when I was going to buy the Jalen Rose jersey. This when the Fab Five was
Right.
and it was just his number 5. Everybody
Right.
know that's Jalen Rose with
Yeah.
the but his name wasn't on there.
Wow.
And if they name ain't on it, you don't own it. Let me give you an example. When somebody pays, let's take the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Jalen Hurts. McDonald's going to pay him to do a commercial. Hypothetically, right? He got on the green jersey with his number, right?
Without or the team.
You see that? So you can't do
So
nothing
good.
about it because your name ain't on it.
Right.
Everybody know that this is the Eagles.
Yeah, it's the Eagles
But without your
colors.
logo and
Yeah,
name,
yeah.
we good.
Right, and that's the same. So now you see, like with him, he's reversing it.
Yeah.
That's usually what they do to them.
Yes.
he done it back.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that's the gray area in the NIL. In
That's
the
the gray
likeness
area.
conversation.
That's the gray area.
Right,
That's
right.
the gray area.
Have you heard of Casanet? Sure, you.
Kai,
sure you
I
have.
met
Yeah.
him.
Oh, you met?
I
Kai.
met him when I
Shout
did the
out Kai.
podcast interview with the brother Davis. He's part of the AMP team. They
Okay,
all in the
shout out
AMP.
to them. Shout out to
He was
them.
in the house when we did. Remember the white girl prank? Somebody played the white girl.
Yes, yes.
That was Davis.
Okay.
That
okay.
day, Kai Sanat was in the house.
out to Kai.
And I met him.
Kai, how do you like Kai?
He seemed like a good dude.
Pretty good
My
guy.
only thing with all the young podcasters, Kai Sanat, Drewski,
Streamers.
Davis, I need, at some point, they're having fun right now. Let them have fun. They're young. But at some point, I need them brothers to become politically conscious. Because you have too many people following you and you're making
I think
too
this
much
is a good
money.
Conversation.
And you're making too much money to not make a difference at some point
What
in the
can they
community.
do?
Again, they're young right now.
Right.
Build institutions.
Yeah, they got the power.
Build institutions. They got the power.
So Casanet is doing something called Streamer University right now, where he is empowering creators.
That's powerful. I
and
like it.
He's bringing
giving
his
back.
Audience, yeah, he's bringing his audience and his sponsorship.
I love
on
it.
YouTube,
I love it. I
T-Mobile,
love it.
Right.
My
And
only
so-
question would be, to what end?
Right.
What is the end game? Are we just going to make more young black millionaires who splurge their money on white merchandise? Or are we actually going to build some relevant institutions? Are we going to create some relevant systems? Are we going to build up some financial services to help some of our people get out of jail when they're wrongly convicted?
Right.
Are we going to have a fund, you understand, that we can use to help rescue some of our single mothers with children on the street? What are we doing to serve the community?
Right.
Because if all y'all going to be is another class of celebrities who turn their back on the community, you're useless to us.
That's what I try to tell them too. I tell rappers.
Again, they still young though, so
Yeah,
I'm not pressuring.
and they're having fun, and so
Yeah, let
but
them have their fun.
But I'm also saying we got to work simultaneously, though.
Yes.
Yeah, I
don't know what are they in their 20s or they 30s?
20s, yeah.
Okay.
Young, rich, powerful, influential young men.
But see, here's the thing, and this is true for everybody, and we just had this conversation about Ryan Clark and ESPN. If you're making your money through these sponsors,
at any moment,
you can lose them. And so what you have to ask yourself with a lot of these streamers that are making money through sponsorship, to what extent are you willing to risk a sponsor to speak truth to power for your community? Or are you willing, what I would ask them to think about, right? Because they're young brothers, so I wouldn't put them to the fire right now. Everybody need room to grow. But I would tell them to just think about this. One day you got to leave this earth. You got another 80 years, but you got to leave here one day.
Right.
Will you be satisfied leaving this earth with the influence you have and the money you made to know all you did was make people laugh?
Right.
Your people are struggling.
Yeah.
We are hurting. We ain't got no schools, banks, hospitals, supermarkets, police brutality, mass incarceration, gentrification. We got problems gazoo. Are you comfortable living in a community with these types of challenges?
Right.
To go back to your ancestors with all the money you would have made and all the influence you have, and the only thing you can say you did was make people laugh.
Right.
I would say you have been a complete waste of ancestral DNA.
Right. And you will not be fulfilled. At the end of the road, if that's how, you won't be fulfilled.
But I think by the time they get 40.
Right. And he's Haitian, so I think he has that spirit, and he's connected to a struggle.
A revolutionary culture.
Yeah. So I hopefully at some point they become politically aware, and conscious as it pertains to.
They got some time.
Road. Yeah, got a lot of time.
And
right
again, it goes back to what I said earlier. What kind of a value system are we raising our children with? And let us be honest. A big reason why Black America doesn't get any respect is we're the only people I see who put money over culture. Don't get me wrong. The Chinese love money. They making a whole bunch of it in our hood, right? But guess what? Culture come first.
Exactly.
The East Indians, they're the richest non-white ethnicity in the country. Culture come first.
Right.
You follow me?
Right.
We're the only people where money and religion come before your people.
Right. I want to talk to you about the Casanet Streaming University because he's receiving some backlash, and I think us, his big brothers, need to speak
Why is he
on
getting
his
backlash?
behalf. So, of course, he recently announced the Streamer University. It's not an actual university. It's more of a digital platform with mentorship and initiatives.
Right.
To boost upcoming creators and give them exposure, resources, and direct access to massive audience. Kai never explicitly said his initiative was only for Black creators, but his inner circle, of course, is mostly Black. But because the first wave of participants were predominantly Black, reflecting Kai's natural network and cultural sphere, he was immediately accused by many of white creators online of being racist, practicing reverse discrimination and promotion of division. I thought the best person for the job gets the job. I thought they rolled back DEIs, but Casanet, they want to, I don't know. He's getting some sort of backlash because the first wave of his participants were Black. What do you say to the people who are criticizing Casanet for empowering his true network? Like, what do you say to that?
This is what I would say. Because the argument you're giving me that white people are using, it's the same argument that conservatives have used to justify closing down HBCUs who don't give equal opportunity to enroll with Black children. The 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution contains what we call a what? Equality clause, right? Black people are supposed to receive equal protection under the law.
Yes.
The 14th Amendment was created to make sure we could not get discriminated against, right? So how can a white man come later, 160 years later, and use the same equality clause that was created to make sure you got your participation, they're now using it to eliminate your participation. The white man is saying it must be equal across the board. I completely disagree, Loon. Why? Because equity is not equality. Let me give you an example. If I say Loon and Dr. Umar has to have the same amount of wealth in order to compete equitably in Nashville, right? And that wealth is 100 mil, hypothetically. Loon already has 80 mil. Equity dictates what? Loon gonna get 20.
Right.
And because Dr. Umar only get 50, I get 50. I'm getting more than you. You know why? Because the gap was wider. If I'm Kai Cenat, well, first of all, ain't no Caucasian gonna ever come to me, ever in life, and ask me, why am I serving black people before I serve whites? Number one, because I'm black. And number two, that's exactly what y'all do. That's what white privilege is.
Right.
But if I'm Kai Cenat, I'm going to say, I believe in equity, not equality. The gap between the white streamer and the gap between the black streamer is a whole lot wider than it is for others. Therefore, in order to help my people get to a level playing ground with white streamers, in order to help the black streamer get to a level playing ground with white streamers, I have to give them more help. I have to give them more time. I have to give them more support. Your white streamers, they can get a loan from white banks. Your white streamers, they can go to other white streamers to get financing. Your white streamers, they got a whole bunch of people they can turn to get help, not just Kai Cenat. How many of your white streamers going to help these black streamers who nobody know? Right. How many of you white bankers going to help these black streamers that nobody know? The reason I'm catering to black is in order to bring about equality in the streaming world. Most of my resources will have to go to my own people.
Right. And again, white people are involved. I don't know why when I say millions of views, it's getting millions of views on Twitter when these people are putting out. Kai Cenat is racially ignoring.
What did he say?
He's not saying nothing. He just keep working. Because he's never explicitly said it's for blacks. And
Here's the
whites
problem.
Can't
Here's
come.
the problem. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. There's two ways of being a black business. You're a black business through ownership, or you're a black business through patronage.
That makes sense.
My question would be, what percentage, and he's the number one streamer in the world.
He's the biggest streamer
on the
but
planet.
Only 4% of the streamers on Twitch are black that make money, that make that kind of money.
But here's my question. And I support Kai Cenat and going to continue to as long as he stay on the right up and up with me in terms of what he does for the people and what he stands for. But what Kai Cenat is going to have to decide at some point, because you can't get around it. You can't serve two masters.
Yes.
You can't serve two masters.
They about to make him choose, look like. It's like they're trying to make him.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. But the question becomes, and I hope the brother, he's going to survive it. First of all, back up. There's more Africans in the world than anybody else. I need Kai Cenat to know you don't have to compromise. If you lose all your white subscribers, they will be made up for by Africans. You understand me?
Yes.
There's more Africans in the world. There's about 7-8 million people in the world. 25% or greater are African. You understand? There's way more of us than anybody else. And then when you
they have spending power.
And then when you add black folks, who don't want to be black, now you're talking about damn near half the planet. Do you feel me?
Yes.
Now, when you talk about spending power, when it comes to streaming, that don't matter so much.
Yeah,
you know why? Well, all you got to do is pay your subscription.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
As someone who goes to Africa on a regular basis,
they can
pay that subscription.
Okay, great.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because what's the subscription? And I know it's levels, but
$6, it's small.
They can pay that.
It's small.
He ain't gonna have no issue.
Yeah.
What Kai Cenat may have to do is focus more on the African subscriber than being multicultural.
Right.
And he can win because there's more of us. Now, if he's only looking at America and he's saying black people only 13% of America, I don't want to lose my American base, then that's something he's going to have to rectify within himself, because if you only look in national, Loon, you will lose white subscribers. But if you're looking global and everybody got a laptop and a cell phone and an internet connection,
Right.
why do you care if you lose your white subscribers in America when you have more African youth in the world than any other race?
Right.
There's more African youth than Chinese and everybody else. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So in my opinion, there's no need for him to compromise because your race is in the majority in this world.
Yes.
And everybody's connected to the World Wide Web.
Right.
So he should stand his ground because what he don't want to happen, and I hope he listens to this because I want the brother to succeed.
He will.
I don't want Kai Cenat to side with the Caucasians in this. Because if you lose your American African subscriber, you might lose them around the world.
Yes.
Don't you choose the whites over your people. First of all, it's wrong anyway.
Yes.
But even from an economic standpoint, you would be a fool. You would be a fool to side with the Caucasians against the Africans when it's more Africans in the world than anybody else. And most Africans are young Africans. So he need to compromise who he is.
Right.
But I know he got sponsorships and other things going on in
Let's
this.
get to the way you said he can't serve two masters.
You can't
'cause
serve
I think
two
you were
masters.
going somewhere with that.
Remember,
he's in that situation.
White
like you
people don't
said.
share power. That's the first rule of racism. White people don't share power. And if there are Caucasians who helped him or any other streamer get to where they are, they're going to want unquestioned loyalty. And he's going to have to make a decision. He's going to have to become a man. Not to say he's not.
Right.
But you're going to have to
He's
become
young.
a man.
He's not there yet.
I see what you're saying. But he's going to have to grow up
He's
quick.
gonna have to, yeah.
You have to grow up
this
quick.
amount of money is involved. See, because they see him bigger than he see himself. They see him as the tool he truly is.
Yes.
He just having fun.
Having fun.
They see Kai as what he truly is.
This could be a blessing or a curse. Because what it's showing him is there is no such thing as permanent neutrality. We gave you room to grow. And Kai Cenat didn't even conceive Loon. When he thought about Streamer University, I bet you it didn't even cross his mind that these white folks are going to have a problem with the fact that I'm catering to my people. Like I said, he should be able to explain this away easy, though. Right. This is an easy win, Loon.
Right.
We don't have the resources y'all got.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
There's only one Kai Cenat, and although I'm more popular than all of you put together Caucasians, although I might be making more money than all of you Caucasian streamers put together, my people don't have access to the resources y'all have. Equality doesn't mean equity.
Right.
Equity means I got to bring my people up to equality.
That's a great point.
Equity brings equality. You see that?
Yes.
For y'all to tell me that there should be as many white streamers in my university as black streamers, is y'all telling me to maintain the status quo. Y'all telling me to maintain white privilege. Y'all telling me to maintain Caucasian over African because y'all know these black streamers will never get the help if I don't give it to them. I believe in equality, but equity is the road to equality.
Yes, Lord.
Fall back.
Yes, Lord. And you know, it was something else too. So what he's doing is he's the AMP guys, like you said.
Let me stop. Hold that thought.
Go ahead.
Because you told me the brother was Haitian.
Yes.
Shout out to all my Haitian Africans. Happy Haitian Flag Day. The gymnasium at Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey, it's the Nat Turner John Jacques Dessalines Gymnasium. Both revolutions took place on August 21st, my birthday.
Lord.
Because he's Haitian. The one thing I want Kai Cenat to do for me is go to Haiti and build an institution.
At least one.
At least one. And it better be major. I ain't talking about no little rinky-dink, something that somebody could have done with half your income. You feel me?
Yes.
Build a school, build a hospital, build a university. Even if you put streamer, you base it there.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
Turn them Haitian babies into streamers. But he got to do something for his home.
Yes.
I don't care what it is. I don't care how long it take him. I'm not putting no pressure on the young brother. He still got to live his life.
Right.
But he better not lead his earth.
Right.
And hasn't done something significant for Haiti.
Yes.
I'm going to have a problem.
Right.
Go ahead.
So he would basically what he does is the AMP crew. Of course, he's now uplifted with his rise, has uplifted all of the AMP, right? So the Streamer University professors are other streamers who have a significant following, mostly under AMP. He had some criteria for the students, which was you can't already be a big streamer and get in because it's to help people who's trying to elevate the streaming. I think he had a number, a quota of 200 views or less, 200 viewers or less to try to, like I say, the tide that raises all boats. But the professors were his friends, all of the AMP guys. then you start to see the rounds of not only are the students or the quote unquote contestants of Streaming University all black, but there's not one white professor, which are the people who are kind of leading the classes. And you know what I'm saying? Again, they're just trying to impede on his structure and his strategy. Like,
now,
you know what I'm saying?
Kai Cenat is not Dr. Umar, obviously. But if this is me, I make this real clear. I have an obligation to serve my people who are the most disadvantaged in the world. Period. I'll do something later, and y'all might be able to get involved. But right now, this streaming market, this streaming industry is a brand new thing. And in most industries in this world, Loon, black people are always disproportionately excluded. And in order for me to make sure my people get a just foothold in this industry while it's still fresh, I got to cater to them. Y'all should understand this more than anybody else. For y'all to ask me to treat the white streamer the same as I treat the black streamer, when I know the black streamer does not have the resources of the white streamer, it's not fair.
Right.
I'm going to take care of my people. It's not racism.
What do you say to him?
It's equality.
If he's afraid to speak up? Because taking a stance right now at
I tell you what Maya
years old,
Angelou said, what the Queen Mother Maya Angelou said. She said of all the virtues, courage is the most important.
Yes.
Because if you ain't got courage, you can't practice any of the others.
Because look at Tupac at that age. He would have took a step. Like certain people at
because he was raised to value the people. You see that? Tupac was raised to value the people. So even when he was selling millions of records, he couldn't change because his heart and soul was the people. That's me.
Yeah.
But a lot of our kids are raised to worship and pursue money, bro.
Yeah.
If money is your God, this is why I've said most black people, Loon, are idol worshipers. Do you realize that? We are in Sodom and Gomorrah, brother.
Yes.
Most black people are idol worshipers, but they don't realize it because they go to church and they go to the mosque. No, brother. You're not living for God. You're living for money. You're living for notoriety. You're living for clothes and cars. You feel me?
Yes.
To worship God is to put the Lord first at all times.
Yes.
Most black people, the Lord ain't first.
Right.
It's idols.
Yes.
Money, cash, cars, coochie, and whatever else.
Yes.
You know, so he got to search his soul. I wish, and Kai Cenat, if you listening, confidentially, I wish he had text me and we have a private 5-minute, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just some things for him to think about, bro.
And if I can, I'll get you.
Because I would hate for him.
Yeah.
What does the Bible say? What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Yeah. But in this case, what does it profit him to gain the approval of white folks and lose all the Africans around this world, brother? Kai Cenat could go to the Caribbean and build streaming universities. Go to Africa and build streaming. You feel me? He don't need the Caucasian, bro.
Right.
He don't need them.
Yeah. And it's important he know that, though.
He
Because
need to know it.
feel like he need them because he's surrounded by them. He's Twitch
I hope he
representatives and all
has-
of these different things are happening.
I hope he has trustworthy advisors. I wonder who his OGs are.
Yeah.
You know, who is his attorney?
I know he's tied with Kevin, but I don't know if they would have those kind of conversations. Kevin is also tied into.
I hope he got a
lot of the
silent big
infrastructure.
homie
Right.
who gonna give it to him real,
Right.
who has some loyalty to the race.
Right.
Because I hope he ain't got see, here's the thing. If he get the wrong people in his ear and they're only looking at the domestic market of America, he gonna choose the Caucasian. You feel me? Because they gonna say black people only 13%. You gonna have, bro, you gotta think global, bro. We're the biggest race in the world, brother. No, sir, you don't need them. You just gotta go global.
Yeah.
And you already are.
He's global. Yeah, he's definitely global. He ain't as global as
I
that
think
other
he
guy,
might be
Speed.
he might be too concerned about losing them sponsorships.
Yeah.
Do he need them?
No.
You feel me? I
They
don't think he
need
need
him.
him. They need him.
Yeah, because he having 100,000 people just sitting there watching at a time.
What you
know
need a
what I'm saying?
sponsor for, bro?
Ah, man.
Stand on your ground, Kai. So now, I still want him to be careful,
Right.
Because I don't want him to join the suspicion of the you-know-who's. You follow what I'm saying? Be careful, you know, but stand your ground.
Right. I want to ask you about this too. I had a conversation with someone about the mother of their children was involving a member of the LGBT community, non-family, with the child, right? Just dropping them off at this. So a young boy to a gay girl.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean dropping them off?
Watch like parental
babysitting.
Yeah. What's
the
your thought
the
process
boy
on
was
it?
being the boy's babysitter was a lesbian.
Not even a babysitter. Damn near like you trying to make it like it's family, like he's like another mother or some kind of weird.
But what is the purpose of him going over there? Is what I'm saying.
Because if, in my opinion, the purpose is that because the mother just wants freedom and opportunity to do other things.
So it is a babysitting thing.
Yeah, it is a babysitting thing. Yes.
Me personally, I don't want any energy that I consider to be unrighteous behavior around my child. I love all black people. Lesbian, gay, whatever you got, I love blacks. But I reserve the right to disagree with any lifestyle.
Right.
And for me,
right. It's like
that
I'm wondering
lifestyle is not a centered one. And because of that, I wouldn't want to expose my child to it at all. So for me, it would be no. This presupposes any potential sexual abuse.
Right. But
right?
even I think so early exposure to that.
If you're in the environment, and if you're being exposed to the behavior, just watching it. Also, my babysitter kiss her girlfriend.
Formation.
It's identity formation, and it's also value formation. You see, and nobody keeps who they are a secret, right? I had a conversation a couple of Kwanzas ago during COVID. It probably was 20 or 21, and one of the conversations was with the black community. What do y'all want us to know about y'all? The homosexual community and the black homosexual. And you know what the one brother said? He said, if there's children around and I'm with my mate, I will still be intimate in front of the child. I said, even if the parents don't agree with that lifestyle, he said it don't matter, it's who I am. So he made it clear. I'm not sheltering nobody's child from who I am. You see what I'm saying? So for me, if you don't want your child considering an alternative lifestyle, you can't send them around alternative people.
Right. It's because and then it just confuses the kid. I'm not a fan of it. And I pushed back on him when they, because he asked me about it. Like, man, what do you think, man? She keep dropping my son off.
I don't like it.
To this gay person, man. And it's offending me, man.
Now, they might be innocent.
Yeah, they could quite
I'm not
possibly.
saying.
I'm worried about identity formation, and I'm worried about early exposure to some of the behavioral traits.
Early indoctrination.
That's what I'm saying.
As a child is taught, so will be their thoughts.
My goodness. And this is a little boy around a girl who I think is a lesbian, or it ain't even the girl that acts like the boy. It's the girl who is doing the lesbian behavior. Social
learning theory.
Oh, my goodness.
Children become what they see. Psychological fact.
I don't know, man. I think as people,
your personality is formed by the time you're 5. This boy is how old?
8.
He 8, right? Your personality is largely formed by 5, and who you are at 15, you likely to be until you die. Right. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so you got to be careful, because the one thing that never gets discussed enough about the LGBTQ, they commit just as much molestation as anybody else. I didn't say more. I said just as much.
Yes.
So if you got your child in that environment, and we look at 1 out of every 4 black kids being molested, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you got your child under that.
That's what
no
I'm
kind of molestation is good, but now you add to trauma because of look at what's going on here.
Man. And so
in my experience, most Africans who are of sexual confused persuasion, they were abused sexually as children.
So you think that you do look at that as being sexually confused, right?
For me,
yeah.
From an African cultural perspective, it is.
Yeah. And so I don't know, man, but I'd rather our kids see black love, you know what I'm saying, between heterosexual male
black
and a
on black
woman.
heterosexual love.
Like it's
the only way you're going to rebuild the community. That's the
Right.
bottom line. If you care about the future of black people, you have to care about heterosexual relationships.
Do you still believe in black love, right?
Oh, of course.
I'm looking at Papoose and Remy Ma go through something. I don't know if
and I'm so disappointed because I'm a fan of both of them.
Man, they were black love.
They were black love. They were black love. And, Remy Martin, I've always had a little secret crush on her because she was fine. Still fine, but I liked it when she was thick. She got skinny now.
Yeah.
That big body Remy.
Yeah.
Big body, thick body Remy. 5'5", thicker than thighs. You know what I'm saying? Still beautiful.
Yes.
But I liked it when she was curvy.
Yes.
But nonetheless, I do not appreciate when our couples live their breakups online in front of the world.
Right.
Same thing with Offset, Cardi B.
Yes.
And there's so many others we can name, right? I don't like when they do that because the children are watching.
Yes.
And you're adding to this narrative that black men and black women cannot live together in love and peace. You feel me?
Yeah.
You're adding to the dysfunction. So I don't like that the breakup was public. You know, I want them, if they're getting divorced, get divorced and move on, not just for the sanctity of your child, but for the black community because people watching you.
Right.
You know, and it's not always easy, right?
Right.
Because you don't know who right, you don't know who wrong. You don't know who doing what behind the scenes.
Right.
Because one thing about people is they're loyal to their image.
Right.
So they're going to lie. You might have been a troublemaker, but you're not going to tell the world that.
Yeah, and that's what Remy's position is. She's saying that, look, I always thought my celebrity can take a hit as it pertains to we're divorcing, right? Sometimes just even, that's why celebrity relationships are weird, because even that announcement having to be something that needs to be made, one, and then two, can affect business. We're getting divorced can affect business.
That's true.
So Remy was saying that they had came to a point where they weren't sleeping together, and she had came to a decision, look, I can take the hit, but I'm not sure if he's a big enough celebrity to be able to take the divorce hit and still come out on the other side of it, profitable for itself. So
Divorce don't affect men as much as women, even in society.
well, for him, though, it's different because you got to think. He was positioned as going to see Remy every week when she was in jail. He moved close to the jail. He was up there all the time.
Nobody going to forget that, though.
Right. Can't
Nobody
erase
going to
that.
forget that.
You
feel
can't
me?
erase that.
I don't think.
I don't care
as
what
long
happened,
as
you can't
long as he
erase
ain't disrespecting her or putting his hands on her.
He got that in his bag.
Yeah, I don't really see how anybody could paint Papoose in a negative light after the way he held her down.
Right. Yeah, me neither. But
And then he, you know, with his new relationship with, you know, Sister Clarissa Shields, like he's clearly a man that values black women and relationships.
Yes.
Because he ain't just out here. You feel me?
Right.
He's in another committed relationship.
Yes. And he seems to be moving.
And he moves well.
Yeah.
So I think his public image is safe.
Right. Okay, cool. Let me ask you this. I see a lot of scholars I've ran into that people been to college now. You ever done Adderall?
Nah, I never done any drugs.
In your entire life?
Nah, the only thing I've done, I drink some red wine. I practice African spirituality, so sometimes, you know, you got to blow tobacco smoke on your shrines, right?
Okay.
But outside of that, I don't.
You know, they do say Adderall is kind of like a superhuman. It helps you with this and that, and get work done, and read through the books, and.
Well, you got to be careful with the medications, you know.
Well, and then you're a psychiatrist, so you
and
look at Adderall
and
totally
a lot of
different.
them are derivatives of crack and cocaine. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful with them drugs, man. They habit forming,
right?
Big addictions,
yes,
and a lot of side effects that you can't undo. They mess with your organ function, they mess with your brain cells, they mess with your growth.
You look at all of that,
psychosis,
totally yes,
nightmares, can't sleep, weight gain, weight loss, instant death, heart attack, strokes.
Yeah.
Be careful.
But you do know that people who are high functioning swears by Adderall though, right?
I know people who take it.
You've never heard like people like a Jordan Peterson. Some of these people have shared their stories that, I got to a point where I slipped into a bad spot, starting messing with that Adderall to get myself going, and then ended up into a bad spot. And the other one I think is Ben something. But yeah, Adderall is something that people who are intellectually inclined swear by, man.
To help them focus.
Oh man, I'm talking about high level CEOs, all the like a lot of the people who I know in this business, in particular entertainment, that deal with athletes, motherfucking agents, and all these kind of different executives. They swear that Adderall is like a super focusing.
It does. That's what the purpose is.
Okay.
Because it's an ADHD drug. That's what ADD, Adderall. You feel me? Attention deficit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's focused, but again, the collateral damage.
What makes you? How can you just snap into it and it's just who you are at this point?
It ain't easy. It's tough for me to focus too because you always got so many different things coming. You know, but for me, I don't ever want to be dependent on nothing but God. You know what I mean?
Right. And I don't take it for the record. I don't know if people are hearing me say this or that.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
I don't want to be dependent on
take it at all. I don't take none of that shit.
Because I know a lot of people who have been permanently damaged by psychiatric meds, bro. I know people can't even drive a car no more because the meds messed up their executive function so much.
For real.
Oh, man, fall asleep at the drop of a hat because of the meds and everything, bro.
Damn.
People with panic attacks. I know people get panic attacks out the blue to the point where they sweating and got to sit in for a while. You know what I mean? Because of the meds. Because remember, what the med does is it interrupts your natural brain chemistry. In other words, you can make yourself focus. You can, but you're not putting in the work to develop it. You want a quick
steps
fix.
to it. Yeah.
Right. You want snap. Right? So the drug is going to introduce the chemicals into your brain to disrupt the natural function so you can focus. In other words, you don't want to put the work in. Let's take Ozempic. No disrespect to anybody who take Ozempic, right?
Yes.
You could go to the gym and do the same thing.
Yes.
But you ain't got the discipline.
Yes.
You ain't got the time. You ain't got the commitment, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to take Ozempic. God forbid, 10 years from now, they find out Ozempic is causing major problems in people. You feel me?
Right.
You didn't have to go that route.
Right.
But you didn't have to discipline to do it the
Right.
hard way.
And then also what Ozempic is, you're losing weight, but that ain't all you losing. Like you say, collateral damage. You losing muscle mass. So that's why you
I
see
didn't
some
know that.
people head look. Yeah, there's a such thing as an Ozempic head, right? So you will look at a person that's heavy in the Ozempic, and their face and shit it's very unnatural, unhealthy.
Wow.
They're losing muscle mass along with
Is eating a muscle
weight.
up too.
Yes.
I didn't know
and
that.
people didn't know that. Yeah, but that's something that I found out doing some research on Ozempic and also listening to a podcast about Ozempic as to because I couldn't understand. Yeah, you lost weight, but
It disfigured you a little bit.
Man, you don't look the same. Like how I lose weight, I still look like me.
Yeah.
It ain't the weight where it's like, hold on, man. You 40 pounds little, but it's off.
You
It's
disfigured.
the muscle mass that they're losing along with it, man.
Wow.
So yeah, man, I think be careful out there, man, in what you indulge in. I think it's unfortunate because the doctors do prescribe a lot of this stuff to people.
Oh, for sure.
We've seen in
and in
Diddy
America,
case.
you can legally prescribe a drug to deal with a condition that it wasn't designed for. You know that, right? So, for example, a lot of women take Prozac to deal with their menstrual cramps. Prozac is an antidepressant. That's depression.
I didn't know
But
that.
the doctor is giving it to women who don't want to cramp.
know that.
Yes, in America, you can prescribe drugs legally to deal with an off-label use. Why do you think people all cracked up and opioid?
What do you say to, like, because this speaks to that too, Diddy's trial. Man, that dude got real prescription bottles that say Frank Black. Like
Who's Frank Black?
the Black Frank White, Diddy.
Oh, okay.
He had renamed himself in the freak off.
Okay.
You know, in the freak
But
off.
you got to remember, when
atmosphere.
you got that kind of money, you can pay
But
pharmacists.
it's interesting because do you have a fake ID with it? Like, I mean, damn, do they just show up to the pharmacy? Hey, Frank Black here for the.
They don't even go to the pharmacy. They got a drop-off person.
Oh, that's right. Because
At that
it's high
level?
level. It's high level. It's high level. Damn.
The money he paying?
Yeah,
Bro.
Those doctors didn't get put in trouble though. I don't hear the doctors being
Well,
mentioned.
Because ain't nothing on paper. The pills come in. I'm taking 1,000 out for Diddy.
No. This has a label on it.
Okay.
This has a label like your blood pressure medicine.
I see what you're
Frank
saying.
Black, address, all of these. It went through a pharmacy of some sort.
If it's in the system, somebody getting in trouble. But I think they kept it out the system somehow.
Nah, I seen it in court. Oh, you said that it may look like it, but not actually
Yeah.
go through the system.
I don't
Okay,
see no
okay.
doctor risking that. That's your license. You don't get them back.
Right.
Yeah.
See, but somebody definitely.
Oh,
did.
yeah.
Somebody
Oh, yeah.
did something.
Oh, yeah.
Man, like I say, man, we had a great conversation today, man. I appreciate you. We're gonna do this again, of course. We do 2 of these a year. Hopefully, I may try to do again the live in October at the
Okay.
HBCU with the John Merritt Classic again. I'm gonna get with them probably the next couple of weeks, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Hopefully, you can block that date off because I know you're super duper moving around. But I really appreciate you, man, and like always, great conversation.
Yes, sir.
Feeding the culture one day at a time.
One day
Anything
at
you
a
want to
time.
leave the people with?
Make sure you donate. Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Hit your PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. That's paypal.me/FDMG Academy. If you need to reach me, email Dr. Umar Johnson at yahoo.com. And if you need to get me by phone, you can always text message me. My cell number public has been that way for 20 years. I will be changing it once FDMG is ready. But you can always text message Dr. Umar at 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858. Black Queens forever, Snow Bunnies never.
Y'all take that, do something with it. You know this is the biggest in the game. It's Up There Podcast. Let's